Yes, sir. We're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with another episode of the Articulated Comic Book Art Podcast. I think we on what, episode 18, 19?
90.
Episode 19. Got the regular crew in the house, Colonel Crackers, Emiya Starlock, Pharaoh Black, Rick Dom, and myself, Boog Nice. So, this week, I didn't get shit. Actually, I'm lying. I got one thing. We just talked
Got
about it. I got the Hobby Lobby. I guess that would be like one. What scale would you even call that? I don't even know.
I
It's
don't know,
about
like
110.
1/10.
1/10 probably. All right, yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, I guess it's like a 1/10 scale motorcycle that a lot of people trying to pair up with their NECA T1000. I mean T800. Excuse me. And I haven't even actually tried the figure on the bike yet, but the bike is actually it's worth the $12 or however much it was. I think it came out to maybe like 20 with the shipping and everything. But it's a very hefty, heavy piece. It's solid. You know, it's not like just plastic. There's some die cast or metal or something on there. But I got that, and I paid for the Leonidas figure and Pikachu, and that was it.
Pikachu.
That was it for me.
Which Pikachu is that?
Figure arts. SH
Oh,
figure.
okay.
So maybe they'll continue and do some other stuff. It'll I guess they'll figure out if a lot of people bought Pikachu, and I guess that'll give them the green light to do more or not. I don't know. Rick, you got that yet?
The Pikachu, not yet. I'll have it by the end of the month. You know, my stuff usually I
You
wait for.
got your power loop going or whatever you want to call it for Army.
Yeah, exactly. I can't wait to get it in. It's really cheap, is what I like. As it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Shoot.
I actually combined two, and I might combine again because I still had a few more things for this month. I'll probably combine again and wait too. I'm not really in a hurry. I saw a couple of pictures with the Leonidas. I saw Darius actually posted a couple of pictures, and somebody else. I think Ryan Gomez from the group too. It looks pretty good, but you know, honestly, if you can't have like 4 or 5 of them, it's kind of whack, man. I wish that it was more of the army that you could get some of the other characters, or even if they were just faceless soldiers, it wouldn't matter. But kind of whack to just have that one standalone figure. I heard the ab crunch was kind of whack too.
Yeah, I heard that. I've heard some things about the app, although I don't have it myself.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. What about you, Farrell?
I got my Captain America wave. I got the Namor that you sent. I got 5 Shield agents for next year.
You know what's funny? He do look like Jeff Goldblum. You made that joke, and I kept looking at his face and shit.
The only thing I want to know is where the hell is my Namor? I don't know what you guys are talking about. Where's mine at?
I want to know when it's actually going to officially drop. It's probably going to be a couple more months now.
Yeah.
So I got what else did I get? We were just talking about this shit too. Oh, well I went ahead I paid for the Leonidas or whatever, and then no, actually I didn't pay for Leonidas. The day before I got the confirmation to actually pay for it. It was a good thing I did this too. I combined it with the other orders, the Lupin figures, the blank Figma bodies and shit. So I went ahead and did that. So I'm expecting to actually pay for that next week, but pretty much you might as well count as we get it this week, because whatever. I got what else did I get? I don't know, some little odds and ends, little props. Oh, I bought a bunch of Dragon Ball Z the figure arts. I bought the Cell. I bought the original Frieza. I bought the Scouter Vegeta. I bought Android 18, and I bought Krillin. So I bought all of those yesterday.
That's all great figures, man. I love that Krillin.
Alright, so went ahead and because I had them all before and I sold all that shit, and then I got it back and I sold it again. So it's be like my 3rd time having it. And I think that might be about it. Oh, and then I customized a Batman. Shout out to Nick's Toys on Instagram, Nick_toys or whatever. He had a Batman custom, and I reached out to him and asked him if it was okay if I went ahead and duplicated it. Which, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna do it anyway. I just probably wouldn't have showed it, but I wanted the Batman. Just asked him if it was okay if I duplicated it and actually showed people and whatever. He
You
said it
said
was
he was
cool.
a young cat, right?
Yeah. He's a fairly young cat or whatever, man. And he he's taking some pretty decent pictures and
Yeah,
everything. And I mean,
I looked at his page.
yeah, he did his thing. That Batman too, man. He's getting a lot of the lighting techniques. He's doing it like completely, like 100% correct. So, shout out to that cat, man. Y'all should go check out his page. But
That's what's up.
that's pretty much it.
My turn. Let's see. First of all, shout out to Henry Beltran for texting me at 2 in the morning when Hasbro Toy Shop got more Nick Furies in stock.
Yeah,
So I went ahead and picked up 2 more of those, bringing me up to 5.
Shout out to Henry Ward.
Yeah, I was actually already up. He didn't wake me up or anything, but yeah, that was pretty cool.
I still miss the shits.
Oh, you did? Yeah, Pharaoh was saying in the pre chat how he got 10, and then when he went to check out, it brought him back down to 3.
Yeah, man. I was really disappointed. I was talking to Boog and was telling him, like, man, they bust my shit down because I thought I was gonna like pretty much kill. Like, I'm like, fuck it, I can do all my army right now. And I text Boog and shit. He didn't respond. He was somewhere cooped up, laid up, or some shit.
And then, if you guys remember last week, I mentioned that my comic shop, Comic Bug, is having their big free comic book day event, and they've been revealing the guest list of all the people that are going to do signings and all that stuff. And they have Alan Tudyk from Firefly, who played Hoban Washburn, the pilot.
Of course, he said Alan Tudyk.
Yeah, of course.
That's what the ladies call him.
Uh-huh. But I know him better as Steve the Pirate from Dodgeball, which is one of my favorite movies growing up.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'm excited to go meet him, and since I want to be working there doing some A.C.B.A. displays and running a table with hopefully the Beltrans, while I'm there, I'm gonna go talk to him, chat him up a little bit, and then I bought the Washburn figure from Funko Legacy Collection, which is garbage, honestly, but I'm not gonna open it. I'm just gonna get him to sign it, and then I'll keep it on card just for a keepsake. Yeah, it was like $16 on Amazon, so it wasn't even like hard to find. Let's see, I got that Hobby Lobby bike too. It fits pretty well on the T800, I must say.
Does it have a kickstand?
It does have a kickstand. So if you wanted, you could have him like riding it, with the kickstand down, or if you articulate it enough, you can actually stretch the leg down to reach the floor, so it looks like he's leaning with his foot.
The kickstand.
Yours didn't come with a kickstand?
I don't know what's going on here.
What's kind of weird about it is that it's metal, the whole thing is, so it's heavy as fuck, but you can actually bend a lot of the parts to kind of not really articulate it, but help it reach the figure better, like the handlebars.
It's like a thinner metal, like a sheet.
Yeah, it's like, man, I don't know how to even call it. I took a shop class in high school, but all that knowledge was just escaped me. I don't know what that exact metal is called. But yeah, I mean, I think it fits pretty well. It's not the exact model of bike that he uses in the movie or whatever, but it's similar enough. It's got the saddlebags in the back and everything too. And like I said, the metal is pretty easy to bend as long as you don't force it too much and potentially break it. But you can bend it to maybe like bring the seat down a little bit so he can reach the floor better or reach the footrests. So it's pretty versatile, and it's about 1/10 scale, so it'll work in the background of figure shots too, I think. I got $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, which is pretty cool. Comes with a basketball. This is the
Everything has a price.
this is the Target Hall of Fame series. This is, I think, the newest wave. And it's funny because if you look at the back of the package, they used to have I think it was Cactus Jack on here as part of the wave, but they went ahead and put a fucking sticker over where his face used to be because I guess the licensing deal with Mick Foley didn't work out. So if you peel a sticker, you can still see where it says Cactus Jack.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
Yeah, that sucks. I wanted a Cactus Jack. It is what it is. And then today, I just went to Comic Bug because they just opened up a game shop right next to them, and it's like Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh, and you basically like rent a table and you can go and game with your friends and play like Settlers of Catan and whatnot. So today they gave me the good news that they're going to be getting a bunch of Warhammer stuff in from Games Workshop, which means Citadel paints. So finally can go back to doing some customs here and there because Citadel it's probably the best paint that I've found works best for especially NECA figures. I don't know about Marvel.
I didn't know you did any customs. What have you done?
I did Jesse Ventura from Predator. Have you seen that? but I had to paint the Arnold body with the what head did I use? It was the Lone Ranger unmasked head, and then painted the camo pattern on the hat, and upturned one bill, and then did the MTV logo on the shirt, freehand, and that was a bitch. But yeah, that's one of them, and like a couple others here and there. But I think Citadel paints work better than any other brand that I've used, so I'm excited to finally have another source of that, because ever since the original Games Workshop closed down, I haven't found that shit ever, and it's really expensive online. But anyway, while I was a Comic Bug, they asked me to come in because the display case where we have the A.C.B.A displays got moved to the back because the wall that it was leaning up against is now a doorway that goes next door to the game shop that they just opened up. So I had to fix everything, and while I was there, I picked up a couple things. I got the Detective Jim Gordon from Gotham, and I only got him because I want the Alloway piece, honestly.
I was about to say, you better have gotten the big ones and not the ones
that
don't come with anything.
No, not the true one.
Jim Gordon for what though? What did you want?
For the Dio piece, like the little dumpsters and stuff, and it's a good suited body too, actually.
Yeah, I think it's Crime Alley.
Yeah, Crime Alley, where Batman's parents got killed.
I wanted to buy that damn thing, but I don't know if it's in scale with any of the Arkham figures.
It probably is. I mean, it's technically like 7-inch. Isn't DC Collectibles usually 7-inch?
You should scale with those with no problem.
I don't know. I just don't want the outfit to look all bigger than Batman and shit, you know.
No, it should be okay. I think the other one from Series 2, which is Harvey Bullock, his partner, also comes with a piece of the same alleyway, so you can actually connect those two pieces to each other. I'm not sure how, because they didn't have that one in stock today, but I did want to grab that one. And then I got another Edward Nygma because I wanted another desk, which is pretty nice. I've seen a lot of people use that desk, actually. It's pretty versatile. You can turn it around. It looks just like a regular table, too.
Yeah, that desk is cool, definitely.
Actually, I saw on NECA's website, they have the product shots for the Aliens creature packs that are coming out, like the face hugger tubes and the chest bursters and stuff. And in the photo shoot they did for that, they actually used that desk. Fun fact. You guys are all on that.
Fabio, fun fact of the day.
And yeah, that's about it. I am already hyped on that Kenner Ripley that they've been teasing. I've been posting pics of it on Plastic and Paint because I'm just creaming myself at the thought of it.
Oh man, I can only imagine.
Is it supposed to be?
The Kenner Ripley, based on the old toy. The old Kenner toy that has the flamethrower. You like turn her at the waist and the flame comes out of the flamethrower.
Okay, I think I remember that.
Yeah, it's from like the early '90s, but just like the design of it is pretty cool, and you know I'm a big fan of the NECA Kenner repaints, so I'm excited for this piece like way too hard. And I just found out actually it's going to be available on the 26th on Aliens Day, so I think it'll probably go up for pre-order that day.
You said you was gonna buy them ugly fucking Reeboks too, didn't you?
Yeah, I might. I'm still thinking about it.
Just wait till they make the low top ones that don't look gay.
I want the mid tops.
Yeah.
Those shoes are bad regardless.
What?
And listen, hold on. If growing up in the '80s, I'm telling you, everything in the '80s that was Reebok, pretty much, except for maybe the classic Reeboks, those ones that I think Juvenile and the rappers were wearing, and the fucking pumps. All those fucking shoes were ugly. Like all of them.
Man, don't you dare!
I'm gonna go to 24-hour fitness and shoot hoops. I'm gonna look like a total badass.
Yeah, the pumps can still rock to this day. You can still rock a pair of pumps and they still be alright.
You mean the D Brown?
If you go right now and watch one of those movies from the '80s, and you always see the white kid with the dirty Reeboks. Those shits was whack.
Hey,
like,
I'll buy my Reebok Shacknosis.
Yo, you know what? I totally forgot that the pumps was the D Brown, so you just said that too. I totally forgot about D Brown altogether, man.
Right.
D Brown with that no look dunk.
With the cover in his eyes dunk and shit.
That no look.
The original pumps were almost $200.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, they were expensive as shit.
Hell yeah. You had to be slinging dope to get them shits.
Right.
No question.
Crazy.
There goes that dude that slings, because you know he always has the 7 different color pumps.
Right.
Hey, you know what?
That's it for me. You can go next.
That's crazy.
What's crazy?
Are they gonna put? I was gonna ask Fabio. Are they gonna put? They are gonna put the Reeboks on Ripley, huh?
I think they are. They're just repainting them. I think they're gonna be yellow now.
Hmm.
I mean, the overall design of it is like not looking like the movie at all. She has like a scarf and a burgundy shirt and like blue jeans with yellow shoes. So I mean, it's not gonna look like the movie, but it's
What
gonna
the
look
fuck
really
is the
sweet next to my
point?
red alien queen.
Why are they gonna do that? They should make it movie accurate.
Well, they already did the movie accurate one, but I'll send you the picture of the actual Kenner Ripley, and you can see what they're basing it on. But I'm most excited for them to just hit the Kenner Aliens line as a whole, like those crazy designs for like the bull alien and the mantis alien and all those weird shits. And then there's also like the human characters, like yeah, Ripley, and then they might do a bishop who has like a Gatling gun and these sweet shades. Can't wait for that. Man, no one's excited about these Kenner things like I am, man, huh?
What about you?
Cause I mean, I had a lot of those figures, man. Those figures are trash.
Yeah,
Even some of
Yeah, but
the
it's about the nostalgic design of them is all.
yeah, I wasn't a
how
fan.
are you nostalgic about something you never had?
Okay, let me tell you a story. All right. I don't know if you guys know this. I've mentioned it before, but I wasn't born in this country. I was born in Venezuela. And when I went to go visit my grandma up until I was about 10 years old, and that country became way too goddamn dangerous for a child to go walking around. When I used to go visit my grandma, she lived in basically the Venezuelan version of the projects. And so when I would go visit her, I'd have to like go with her to the market and stuff because I couldn't stay home alone and all that. And then walking to the market, she would tell me like, listen, don't wear a watch on your wrist because someone could come and cut your wrist and take your watch. Like scary shit like that is what she would tell 9-year-old Fabio. But anyway, we'd go to this market anyway, and there's always this dude that had, like a figure booth basically, just a bunch of figures on pegs, and most of them were knockoffs, including like pretty much all of the Alien and Predator figures that he still had like from the 90s, the early 90s, and then he also had the Spider-Man 1 movie figures. But pretty much all of them were bootlegs, except for one of the Spider-Man 1 movie figures, and it was the battle damaged one, which I still have to this day. So it's like, it just, I don't know, it fucking brings back memories of me almost getting my wrist chopped off while walking to my grandma's, It's one of those things.
So you buying the figures because 9-year-old Fabio misses them?
I don't miss that country, but I do miss the memories.
I miss the country.
No, man, it's terrible there. It's like documented, legit, just the worst country. Third world shit. Not going back. My dad keeps asking me, hey, when are you gonna renew your passport and come visit?
Never.
Close to never, I would say.
Oh God.
You never know. Dude might be there with the booth and shit, and you could go back and reminisce with him.
Dude, that dude probably died of a hernia 10 years ago. That guy was so fat.
What about you, Emiya? What you got this week?
What did I get this week?
Stop jacking off, man. What are you doing over there?
Watching Billy Harrington.
That's exactly what I was doing. Anyways, what did I get this week? That's exactly what I was doing. Anyways,
You gotta wait for the blood to come back to his head so he can have a thought.
No, I'm trying to think of things that are technically relevant to this show. I get tons of stuff every week usually, but I mean, unless I got like a ton of, okay, let's just say I've got a ton of anime figures, a ton of robot toys. As far as action figures go, I think I got a couple of the Metacom exclusive figures. What else did I get?
Was it this week or that last week that you got that stuff from Hasbro?
Well, you mean those Spider-Gwens I bought for the guest?
Yeah.
That was like a week or two ago, and this crazy thing is a Spider-Gwen, right? I bought the Spider-Gwen. I bought 3 Spider-Gwens. I didn't buy them for myself. I bought them to give to guests who come from Japan. And basically, all 2 of these Spider-Gwens, right? Their the elbow joint was like stuck. One of them I managed to move, but I stretched the joint, so it's still attached, but it's a little bit wobbly.
Yeah.
And one of them just snapped right off.
It's like that on some of the female figures because the arm is so thin, it's so small that...
That's probably a lot of it. One of them is actually fine. Was no issue at all. But one of them, like 2 of them, they had the stuck joint at the elbow, and I called Hasbro, and they just sent me another one. But they told me to keep the broken one, so, I mean, whatever. But again, I bought those for guests. Those weren't for me. What else did I get? I got the Star Galgaigar. The Star Galgaigar power-up set for the Soul of Chogokin Galgaigar. I haven't had a chance to open it yet, but from the pictures I've seen, it looks pretty incredible. Again, what else did I get? Someone offered me 4 of the pieces for the third-party Lyle Kaiser, but I'll probably just wait till the other 2 pieces come on, just buy it all as a set. Usually cheaper that way anyway. Besides that, I don't think I got anything else. I mean, I got stuff, like I said, there's a bunch of like anime figures and Nendroids and things like that. I think I bought like 1 or 2 Leonidas, but I'm just gonna use a Leonidas to make Conquered Billy Harrington anyway. So.
Oh my God.
Hell yeah, man.
So I'm not even using it for Leonidas. There's
Conquered Billy Harrington. What is that from a specific movie?
A movie he did. He was a spot. He played was it a Roman? I think like a Greek.
It was a Spartan because it looks just like
a Spartan warrior who was in prison and he battled in like the Colosseum battles and stuff. You know?
Yeah, and the hot baby oil pit. We know.
Yeah, so I mean, it's gonna be pretty incredible to create this Billy Harrington. So
excellent.
Hey,
Yeah.
quickly, while Emiya was talking about Hasbro and the replacement, I ordered the 3 figures from Hasbro. And,
I'm curious. Okay, you got your order knocked down to 3, correct?
Yeah.
Is it because they sold out and 3 was all they could sell you? Or
yeah, that's what I think happened. Because once I bought the 3, I said, well, fuck it, because I was thinking maybe they won't want me to buy more than 3, because I was going to just say, well, fuck it, I'm going to go back and buy another 3, and they were out of stock.
Oh, okay. So you think maybe what happened was they were getting bought up and...
They might have put a limit on it, though, because I don't know anybody else who bought 5 and 6 and 7 from Hasbro Toy Shop that morning. I didn't hear anybody else say that they got more than 3, so that was probably the limit.
Also, 3 is the limit then, probably.
3 might have been the limit, yeah.
I know I went back to buy another 3, and they didn't have any, so I've been checking pretty regularly.
Honestly, news like that, it travels so fucking fast, man. You'd be surprised how many people hop on that and order those figures as quick as they do, man.
But you know what's crazy is that
Same thing happened with the 75% off clearance on the TIE Fighter. You can't find that anymore now. It's gone. It existed for a minute.
What I was gonna say is they sent my one of my Nick Furies without the leg holster, and I posted a picture of all my Nick Furies. I called Hasbro and I told him. So then I posted a picture of all my Nick Furies, and he immediately called me back. And he said, "Well, we've seen your picture on social media, and we don't think that it's missing the leg holster." I'm like, "What the fuck do you mean? You see 5 of them there. I didn't order 5. We only ordered 3. And one of the ones in the package, the one in the package without the leg holster, is one of the ones you sent."
Oh wait, they acknowledged you?
Listen. This man called me right back. I'm talking about from an extension number. He literally called me and told me that they seen.
Okay, the number you called was it?
I called 1-800 Hasbro or whatever, and then they gave and they don't take your they don't take the call through that number anymore. They give you a different number.
Yeah.
Another 800
What's
number.
the number they gave you?
Shit. I'm looking through my phone right now. I'm gonna tell you. Okay. The number that they gave me was 1-800-408-0052.
Hold on. I'm pulling up my my email that I got from them.
Or 1-800-327-8264. One or the other.
I think it's the 327 one, Emiya.
It's the 3271. All right.
Yeah, I think that is the number.
And then he called me right back from a 401 area code The number is 431-8697. That's where he called me right back from and told me he seen my picture on social media and he didn't think that it was missing the holster.
All right, this is the number they gave me. It's 1-800-327-8264.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You got. And you talked with someone there, and someone called you back from that number?
Hey, look, here it is, Emiya, for you.
Oh, yeah. That's the same number. That's the same number. That's the same number I have.
Yeah,
Let's Fat Rob on the line. I want to talk to him.
But and I talked to the guy and I told him I was missing the holster or whatever, and he said that he would send me a replacement. Then he looked. He said, "Well, they don't have any in stock." And I told him, "Fine." They put me down, I guess, to send me something, whenever. And then he calls me back. I don't even think it was shit. He calls me back at 12:15, and he tells me, "Oh, well, we seen your picture on social media off a site that we follow, and we don't."
How do they know it was you, though?
I don't know.
Did you?
I'm not going for the bullshit though, because like I tell him, I said, listen, I didn't ask you to send me another fucking figure. I ain't asked you for that shit. What I'm telling you is that my figure is missing a holster. So either you can send me a return shipping label and I can send this bitch back, and you can send me another figure, or you can send me the holster. I don't really give a damn how you do it, but I want the holster because he's talking about I can return it, but I got to pay for shipping. I'm like, fuck that. Why do I have to pay for shipping? I didn't fuck up.
Well, did you give them any indication of who you are? How do they know that picture is yours?
Man, beats the fuck out of me.
Okay.
They probably just assume that it's the guy who.
You know what's crazy? They found it on Instagram.
I mean, did you call them and say, "Hey, I'm Pharaoh Black"? You know? I'm missing a holster.
None of that shit, man. I just told him what was going on. And he hit me right up, and I know for a fact that he must have seen some picture because I had just posted a picture. But I had posted a picture with all of my shield agents. I had 5. I'm like, I only ordered 3 from you. One of the ones, the one right here in package does not have a leg holster. I'm gonna need that leg holster. So they got me put down for, I guess, I don't know what they're gonna send me.
But they're still sending it to you, right?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't even care. Like I told him, I haven't even asked them for another complete figure. If they want to, they can put the damn holster inside of a bubble mailer and send that bitch over. It don't really make a difference to me. But I mean, I want my figure to be complete. I didn't give them partial money, so I don't want a partial figure.
Of course.
That's crazy, man. The feds is watching.
Like I said, what kind of? There must have been something you did. Because these people, I'll tell you right now, I talked to.
Emiya, real shit. I didn't do anything. You gotta realize, it's not like I'm gonna go and say, "Hey, Hasbro man, I'm Pharaoh Black on Instagram. Go check it out." So I didn't tell him that.
Well, you said they got the picture off a site that they follow, and we both know that they kind of sneak in on our website sometimes.
I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't know where he's seen it at. Or whatever. I don't even know how you
all I can imagine is the guy recognized a voice and is like, "Hey, that guy sounds like Pharaoh Black."
Long story short, I really don't give a damn.
A.C.B.A. podcast co-host Pharaoh Black is calling.
Hey, I just want my holster, man. I'm sitting around with a shield agent with no holster, and I try not to let it bother me. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna put Nick Fury. You know, he ain't in the field as much as the actual other soldier. So I'm gonna put the Fury head on him and just let him not have the leg holster. Fuck that. That shit's bothering the fuck out of me.
But you tried you said you tried the Nick Fury head, the black Nick Fury, right?
Yeah. It popped. Yeah, it went on.
It looks good.
Yeah.
We need the power of the live chat to make this happen for Hasbro. Everybody go hashtag give Pharaoh his holster.
I mean, you're a nice ass dude, Pharaoh. I would have went hella mad. They would have told me something like that.
Man,
put me onto your fucking supervisor. I would have been like, you invasion of privacy motherfuckers trying to follow me on Instagram and what I do.
Well, I'm more concerned about why he was singled out, because every time, I'll be honest with you, every time I've talked to Hasbro reps, like, with doing this kind of stuff, with damaged stuff, the person thinks the toy is for a kid. Every time they've asked me, also, how old's the kid that played with the toy? And I'm like, the toy's for me. And they're like, oh, okay.
Fuck out of here.
So, I mean, these people often at this number, and I called it a few times, they don't actually usually. They're just people who are doing a 9 to 5 job. They're not people who follow toys or anything or know anything about it. They're just doing work. So for you to be singled out, it just seems kind of odd.
Hey man, I'm telling you, that's what that motherfucker told me. Shit. And it was crazy because when he said it, you know, it ain't so much where it had me where I could like I was at a loss for words, but it was like I instantly like yeah. So you know, yeah, he had to see me post a picture because I mean he called me right back within like a minute of me posting a picture.
And it was the same guy you talked to.
Yeah. Same exact guy. But that extension I just told you about the 401 area code, that's where he called me back from.
Okay. No, well, I don't know, man. Maybe they
Plot
have
thickens.
on the case.
number.
Hasbro is on the job.
All right, so what we talking about from this week? What happened this week?
Big news. Doctor Strange trailer.
Oh shit!
Boom. Premiered on Monday. Jimmy Kimmel. The bang.
Again, Jimmy Kimmel just knocking it out of the park with these trailers.
You're getting that payola baby onto the table.
That Disney money must be good.
Yeah, I saw the trailer. It was okay. I don't know. For some reason I'm thinking that it's gonna be trash. But then I'm also thinking that like we've had like a lot of magic movies over the past like 10 years or whatever that were great. Like you know things that had magic in it, Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and all of that stuff. So I'm thinking logically that it should be a more adult themed you know, version of something like that, and it should be dope. But the trailer didn't really grab me. It didn't really intrigue me too much. It just looked okay to me. So, what about you guys?
Pharaoh?
Actually, I was doing something else, so I'm guilty not even knowing what the hell y'all was just talking about.
Doctor Strange trailer.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe if they show me more, but you have to realize that Doctor Strange really, those mystical characters, period. Even like Thor. I like Thor because he's part of the Avengers, but that whole his own realm type shit, I don't know.
You're
That's
not a
too
fan of
Lord of the
Asgard.
Rings. Yeah, I mean, it's too much like Lord of the Rings or Renaissance Fair type shit to me, man. I don't really care about magic and shit. I mean, like I said, he's part of the fucking Marvel continuity, so I mean, he's been around forever, but I just don't really see like I don't know that magic thing.
You like Thor. You don't like Thor's world.
Right. I mean, I don't like the look and the whole general feel to everything. I don't really like all that ye thee thou, you know, walking around with the loin cloths and the giant capes.
Thou art Pharaoh of House Black.
Right. See, I'm good on that.
Oh man.
Well, I thought it was a pretty good trailer. Trying to think. I think it flowed pretty well. Like I mean, this is a teaser trailer, so I'm glad they didn't show, you know, pretty much anything in this. It was just kind of a setup, so you know who the character is and what he's about, and it definitely looks super different than anything else we've seen from Marvel. It didn't even look like a Marvel trailer, honestly.
No, not really. Yeah, you're right.
It felt like a cross between Batman Begins and Inception, and it wasn't even directed by Christopher Nolan, so that says a lot. I talked about it a little bit with Sinestro when we did our podcast earlier this week, but I liked the parallel scenes in the trailer a lot. Like, you know, they have him looking all nice, and then it parallels over to another scene, and his face is all fucked up, and he's got a breathing mask on, and then he's wearing a suit, and he's in his penthouse apartment, he's looking down on Central Park, and then it flashes to a parallel scene, and he's got this scraggly beard, and the color palette's changed, and he's all sad and depressed, and then he's got his hands all prepped for surgery, and he puts them up, and then it flashes over to the parallel scene, and now he's got a big beard, and his hands are all shaky. So I like that. I think it was a well put together trailer because of that, and it kind of like immerses you in like all the weird visuals that we're sure to get in the movie, and then it brings you back at the end, and you're in Doctor Strange's shoes when he's like, "Teach me," and then it ends right there. And I thought it was poignant. I thought it was a good way to like give everybody a little taste of this universe, and then kind of bookend it with Doctor Strange wanting to learn about it, and then in essence being the audience wanting to learn about it.
I honestly just don't really care about Doctor Strange, the character. Like, I just don't care about Doctor Strange for whatever reason. Like, if this is leading up to them bringing Illuminati together and maybe doing something along that lines, then I'm all for that. Whatever. I'm laying the groundwork. Marvel obviously does a great job of doing that, but I just don't care about a Doctor Strange solo movie, man. I just don't like Pharaoh was saying about Thor. I didn't really care about Thor, even though I actually kind of liked his solo movies. They were okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this might turn out to be the same thing. It might be that I just don't give a fuck about it, but it still ends up being a fun movie. We'll see.
I think the main actor, whatever his name is, Benadryl Cough Drop, I think he's going to do a really good job in this. He's just such a great actor, and I didn't even recognize his American accent when he was doing the voiceover. So automatically, I'm like, all right, it's Benny Cummy Patch doing some. He's acting his fucking face off, so I'm down to see that.
You got the look down, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole look of it overall is pretty interesting. It's like I said, it's very Inception, but they kind of took the psychedelic Jack Kirby visuals and brought them into like psychedelic fractal modern visuals, which is kind of cool. Like when the bad guy from Casino Royale is like walking through that hallway and like extending it in infinite directions as he's doing that. We're not sure who the bad guy is in that yet, but whatever his character turns out to be, looks pretty cool.
I doubt that they're gonna fully introduce any of the like real baddies at first. First of all, the black dude who's playing Baron Mordo. Baron
Should we tell
Mordo
you before?
Be a villain, so I'm thinking that he's gonna get seduced by the dark side or some shit, and by the end of the movie he'll probably end up being a villain because it looks like they're buddy at first.
Right.
So I'm thinking it'll be that, and then they might hint towards some of the bigger magical villains, but I don't think we're gonna see like Dormammu or anything like that in this first movie.
Rick, what do you think of this trailer?
I thought it was good. The visuals were very cool. It was very fantastical. I'm a big fan. Harry Potter. I'm into that whole magic, mysticism shit. All those kind of all those visuals and stuff like that. I'm very used to seeing things like that. I watched the sci-fi show The Magicians. That's a great show. If nobody's ever watched The Magicians, check that out. I liked what it did. It didn't show too much, but it showed just enough. I do wish though that we would have gotten just a short glimpse of him as Doctor Strange, not just like him walking away, swaying in the wind. But it's just my impatience getting the better of me. I thought it did a good job. From the get-go. I mean, Emiya can tell you here himself when we found out that Cumberbatch was Doctor Strange. It was one of those things where you just think to yourself like, "Oh, I never thought this would happen because this is like the most perfect casting ever." It's one of those things that's almost too good that you don't think the company would actually do because it's too good. It's definitely a role that someone like him was born to play. Like Robert, yeah, Robert, he was born to be Iron Man, and Cumberbatch, it's there's a reason I thought that, many people have said before, like, damn, that dude would be the perfect Doctor Strange, and you just think to yourself, yeah, he may be the perfect Doctor Strange, but we all know that they won't cast him in it anyway, so who cares? And they did end up doing it, and great on their part. He looks great so far. I love that whole that visual of him being pinged out. His astral self being pinged out of his body was fantastic. I'm surprised we didn't see even a glimpse, of Mordo.
Yeah, that scene with the astral punch and shit was really dope. You're right.
The astral punch was really cool.
We did see Mordo very briefly. He's like walking away on like a market street with a scroll in his hand.
Oh yeah,
You
I
see
did.
that GIF with them jumping and shit? But
Oh yeah, the jumping in the air like goofs. Um, no, I'm excited to see where this goes. I like a very weird Doctor Strange, so I don't know how they're gonna play it in this film. Um, he seems very normal so far. The weirder the Doctor Strange, the better to me.
yeah, I could agree with you there too. If they really do some other shit, it would definitely be more intriguing though. No question about it.
Yeah, I'm excited so far. It was a good trailer. It was the perfect amount of time too. Like they make these fucking teaser trailers, and sometimes it's like a 20-second trailer teaser, and you're just like, man, why did you even show me this? Like why are you wasting my time with like 20 seconds? But a full minute that that's the perfect amount.
When's it supposed to drop?
November.
November. I thought so. Okay.
Yeah, it's in November. Um, it looks good. I'm excited to see where this leads. Um, yeah. Well, what did you think, Mr. Emiya?
I think it was a good trailer. Well, teaser. I mean, it's supposed to introduce us to all these, mystical things, which basically seems like in this universe is more or less like super physics, in the Marvel universe. So we'll get more insight into that, which will be cool. Aside from that, everything else that's been said that's good or bad about it, I think it's pretty much been said by everyone else. I think I'm definitely excited for it. I'm a fan of the character of Doctor Strange. I do agree that Doctor Strange, especially if it's played by Benedict Cumberbatch, that definitely they should go for the more eccentric take on the character would definitely be cool. I'm not sure what they're gonna do. Maybe you may make them too. It's a thin line when you do eccentric characters. Either it really, the fans really love it. Some people think it's too kind of odd, and then you alienate people. So they'll probably try to do something in between. More or less, seems like from the trailer, it seems like they're going for the more snobby, stuck up, surgeon becomes snobby, stuck up superhero. Um, I don't know if that's going to be the case. But yeah, definitely excited for it. It looks good. So yeah.
All right. Well, there's that. Moving right along. Just the other day, I think it was some sort of screening of the episode 7, and a child in the movie theater raised his hand and bravely asked J.J. Abrams if he could tell them whose Ray's parents were. J.J. Abrams kind of laughed, and he ended up answering with, the only thing that I could tell you is that they're not in episode 7. A lot of people are going back and forth wondering, what the hell does this mean? Then who are they if it's not anyone that we saw in the film? And is he just fucking lying? As we know, J.J. Abrams is a huge liar. Who could forget the famous? Who could forget the famous? No, Star Trek 2's villain is definitely not going to be Khan, and then it totally ended up being Khan. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think, Mr. Boog?
He's lying probably. And I'm pretty sure that kid's parent put him up to asking that question too.
Yeah. Hey, Zach, you better put up your fucking hand.
Basically.
You better ask him.
You want fucking ice cream tonight, little motherfucker?
Yeah, you like your mom's Brussels sprouts, don't you? No? Okay, you better ask this fucking question.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I didn't like how they even did Force Awakens with the 10-second silent cameo of Luke and shit anyway. So I don't know. I'm hoping that the next one they really, get some momentum and really flesh things out now that they kind of got the groundwork laid and shit. So I'm hoping that he's lying. I'm hoping that it's what we all suspect, and she's either Luke's daughter or Obi-Wan's granddaughter or whatever. So, but we can't trust anything he's saying though for sure.
Yeah, it's not easy to trust. Mr. Pharaoh, what do you think of this situation?
I don't care about it.
You heard it from the horse's mouth.
Well, I think much more than that. Actually, yeah, I haven't really even heard about this story, so hearing about it for the first time, yeah, I don't think it's true. I think JJ just is throwing misdirection.
Yeah. I I I mean, if it wasn't Luke, I wouldn't be, super shocked or anything. But to tell me that it's not, the
Mhm.
Kenobi bloodline or the Skywalker bloodline, I don't believe. It's just very hard to imagine a main character of Star Wars not being of the Skywalker bloodline, or
Right, because that's
at
what
the
Star Wars is
very
about.
least of the Kenobi bloodline. I don't believe that. That's very, very hard for me to believe. Um, it's hard for me to trust anything J.J. Abrams says. Like I said,
Mhm.
one of our good friends of mine and Emiya, Brian, he should know all too well that J.J. Abrams is a great director. But he's a fucking liar. He told people for months that their fears weren't going to happen, that he wasn't going to throw Khan as the main villain of the second Star Trek film, and in the end, he was a total liar, and it was Khan anyways. So
Yeah, and
I don't.
people figured that out months ahead of time, and were like,
Yeah,
"But this is the parallel scene, like when Spock actually dies in Star Trek II: Wrath of Khan, and now it's Kirk dying. We figured it out." And JJ's like,
no,
"No, no, just wait and see the movie. You're wrong. Just
yeah,
stop it. You're
and it
you're
ended
kidding
up
yourself."
being exactly what everyone said.
Yep.
Um, which is fine. It's just that it's hard to trust someone's comments like that when he's just known for saying whatever and directly lying just so in his eyes his viewers aren't quote unquote spoiled. It's going to be interesting. I do wonder how they're going to play it into episode 8, how it's going to be revealed, if we're even going to get it in episode 8, and if it's just going to be in episode 9 or something like that where we get that reveal of where she's from. Um, as time goes on, me and a very eccentric friend of ours that I'm sure Boog knows very well is a little too eccentric. At times with the picks, you know, but he leads to good theories. Is Mr. John Papa Sergio.
Yeah, no doubt.
For a long time, John was and with me as well behind him. I was thinking to myself like, that ship that drops off Ray looks like the Phantom, and now that we have the HD cuts out from DVD, you could stop it and pause it. It totally looks like the fucking Phantom.
Hmm.
So
And which one's the Phantom?
the Phantom is the small ship that comes out of the Ghost from Star Wars Rebels. It's the main character's ship from Star Wars Rebels, basically.
Okay.
So it's going to be interesting to see if that plays into anything. If it's just the same model ship and it's just a nod or something, who knows? But it'll be interesting to see. What do you think, Mr. Emiya, of this development?
I think,
You're a robot.
or I'm a
Yeah,
robot.
cutting out of Emiya.
All right. Well,
I'm the body pooper.
Anyway, I hate that Emiya guy.
Yeah, man. Asians, am I right?
No, you're wrong. Don't let me in with that. Yo, I've been calling Pepperidge Farm Milanos mulattoes for about a week now. Love it.
The mulattoes. Which ones are the mulattoes? Man, what is this guy doing?
He's doing a hard reboot on his computer.
Oh damn! hard 20-minute reset. Hey guys, I'm back. Can we get back on the Star Wars topic really quick? I have some things to share.
Well, I don't know anything about Rebels, so.
Oh man, you should check it out.
Gonna tie in.
It's gonna tie in pretty heavily Rebels to the universe. Being that it's canon. It's gonna tie in pretty heavily. We've seen some big characters from Star Wars past, and possibly from Star Wars future. A lot of talk about a certain big villain being another character that's on that show.
How big you say?
Someone finds a cross saber on that show, just to let you know that there's connections going on in that show. It's getting to the point almost like where if you want the full experience of the universe, you should watch the show as well. Connections going on in that.
And he's back.
Mr. Emiya's returned. Mr. Emiya, your thoughts? Can we get a picture? Your thoughts?
As far as the whole lying thing, I'm really not sure. I'm not going to say that he is lying. Could be lying. I think it's more the possibility, and I think for someone like him, I think it would be something that fans he should be aware of that people would probably think. So I think everything it's more or less by him saying that it just raises more confusion. I mean, this is basically just setting it all back to basically what we knew, which we don't know. Um, so I think that's more or less his thing. My thing is the way it's kind of teased in the movie, the way of her connection to everything. It kind of seems odd that if it is characters are completely uninvolved, that this seems kind of almost like you're kind of putting the anti-cliche thing there. I mean, obviously, the way it's kind of built up right now, it's going the cliche direction. And for them to say, oh yeah, by the way, the connection didn't really, there was nothing involved with any of the stuff. It just happens to be like this, and this is why. Her origins are completely unrelated to any of the existing characters. So in that case, then it would just be something that again would be kind of oh okay, so there he's just kind of just pulling it out of nowhere. But the way it's been again kind of built up, the way it's been kind of teased, or I guess teased in the way that in the sense of how it was built up, it seems like there is obviously some kind of connection. So I think if he were to go the direction to more or less say that there was no connection at all, it would be a little bit. I think fans would be a little bit disappointed. So I don't know. I don't know what the plan is, but I'm willing to bet that there has to be some kind of connection, just because that's the way the story's been kind of told so far. So, yeah.
Man, I bet JJ doesn't even know.
Maybe he didn't actually know until recently. That could be the case too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's lots of cases. J.J. Abrams and David Lynn, when they worked on Lost, I got the feeling that Lost was like that. Lost, I got the impression they didn't actually know certain things. They just kind of, set it up and then decided, hey, you know what, we'll figure something out later.
And guess what? The same thing happened with the other JJ thing. Everyone's like, oh, they're in purgatory. They're in purgatory, right? They're like, nah, they're not in purgatory. Shut up. Shut your mouth and watch the show. Boom, show ends. They're in fucking purgatory.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So, it's he is a liar. He does like to throw things off, but
right. Well, there you go, everybody. 2 anecdotal examples, and we've figured this out. Next topic.
Yeah, if he was a Marvel director, he'd be very frustrating. Oh man, are we gonna see Spider-Man in the Avengers movie? Who says Spider-Man's alive? What the fuck did you just say? What do you mean he's not alive?
What other trailers should happen this week? So what else did we see?
We seen
TMNT.
We seen Black Panther. We seen a 1-minute clip of Black Panther fighting Team Iron Man.
I didn't watch that shit.
Winter Soldier fighting Team Iron Man. Oh yeah, my God.
I didn't watch that trailer on purpose. I don't want no more spoilers.
Yeah, that shit was incredible, man.
Yeah, I heard it was hot though.
Oh yeah, man, Black Panther. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna steal a movie. I feel like he's gonna definitely be a fan favorite, no question about it.
There's a new TMNT 2 trailer also, but I don't think I actually saw it.
Yo, I thought I saw somebody reviewing figures from that movie already.
Yeah,
Pixel Dan has them already.
They're out everywhere right now. I mean, Walmart has a giant fucking shipper of those.
Yeah, my Walmart has a whole middle.
Why would they be out already? When's the movie coming out?
June.
Next month, no?
Oh, June? Okay, all right.
Oh, it's in June.
You gotta. I mean, even if the movie came out in August or something, I mean, you got to get people to start buying that shit because.
Yeah, but they're fucking trash. They are trash.
So
well, you know what, Playmates. This is the thing. Playmates aims that shit directly at children.
Yeah,
like that shit's not intended for
collective. They're insulting the kids of today, though. I feel like kids don't even want that shit. They know what.
It depends on the age, though, man. Like with my nephew, he's 4, so he don't give a shit.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? He right now, like seriously, all them Playmates Ninja Turtle shit and that layer and shit, he has a field day with that bullshit. So I mean, that's just Playmates' whole thing. Remember, that was the whole reason why they didn't have the first Ninja Turtles movie back in, what was that, 89, 90, 91 or some shit.
I
They
think it
didn't
was
have
80,
figures
I
for
think
that
it was
movie.
89.
Yeah, they didn't have figures for that shit because of the violence.
That movie was the shit.
If you really look at it, even the cartoon, when you look at the cartoon, after that first, I want to say, after that first week of Ninja Turtles, they didn't even pull their weapons back out like damn near ever again unless it was to cut people.
They punched everybody.
When that movie came out, you and every one of your little friends was karate kicking the shit out of you.
Right, most
No
definitely.
question about it. So that ain't even matter.
They said that movie was too dark for children, and they would not make the figures for that movie.
I remember seeing that movie with like 10 of my classmates, and somebody's mom took all of us, and we went out for pizza afterwards and shit, and we was kicking the shit out of each other afterwards.
Boog was like, "Cowabunga!" throwing a piece of the air and shit.
Had a flat top when flat tops was actually cool.
Right. Hey,
there's gotta
man,
be a
that
picture
shit
of that
was.
floating around.
I remember when I went to go see that movie, man. We went to a very small theater, but the line literally was around the corner and down the street, man. We waited through a whole entire show to get tickets. Like it was like that crowded for that fucking movie, man. And you're right, it was the shit when you were a kid. Now I watch it. Okay, this is my opinion. A lot of people hold on to that movie in a regard that I don't agree with. I mean, I look at it, and it was great. It was the first movie and everything, so I'm going to always be, okay, that's the Ninja Turtle movie, whatever. But that movie was bad.
I gotta look at it. I actually haven't looked at it as an adult, so I don't know. I gotta peep it. It's on Plex too. Shout out to John too, holding us down on the Plex.
Holding us down forever on that Plex.
I gotta look at it. Well, he got both movies on the Plex, right?
I think he has I think even has that third one.
You know, even speaking of Ninja Turtles in general, not even the fucking movie, just in general, I think that when you really look at the plot to anything Turtles related, the plots are pretty much stupid. Like, I mean, they almost have to be stupid. You know, I mean, the Foot Soldiers, or should I say, the Foot Clan has teenage kids stealing shit for what? Like, you know, what the fuck are they doing that for? Like, that's just fucking dumb. Or even the second movie. I mean, a lot of that plot was pretty stupid. I mean, it's cartoonish, should I say? Not even stupid. Cartoons. That's why when I hear people talk about the Michael Bay movie or whatever, they that movie made no sense. Dude, it's fucking Ninja Turtles, man.
Yeah. The animated show has been great though. That's for sure.
Yeah, I like the animated show. But you know, cartoons take you to a place that you really don't do a whole lot of thinking like you do when you're watching a movie.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
When you talk about the thinking part?
Yeah.
Like my best example would be the whole thing what we were talking about with Batman.
You're not gonna question shit as much in a cartoon. That's really
right. In the cartoon, he throws a batarang and he knocks a grenade out of a guy's hand. You don't even think about. You don't hear the explosion. You don't think about where the grenade went. You know, unless they actually show you and it's part of the actual plot.
Yeah.
But other than that, you don't think about it. You're like, okay, he knocked it out of his hand. Versus the movie, you kind of be like, man, if he'd have did that, this would have happened. Like, you know.
You're basically what you're saying is since it's live action and you're seeing it's live action, you see real people, you can directly relate to it because it's kind of in the realm of, I guess, your personal existence. Basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know if saying yes or no to that's going to actually open up something else.
When it's animated, it's just drawn, so you think to yourself you're not really animated yourself, so you're kind of like, oh, okay, whatever, But then, like when it's real people, like, oh wow, this is real. That was a real guy, getting his fucking dick cut off or cutting his neck. Oh wow, that was a batarang stuck in that guy's face. That kind of thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, because you don't think about shit like if you ever watch I know you've seen the cartoon. What was the older Batman cartoon? What was it called? The Batman.
The Batman? Yeah, I remember the Batman. That's the one that's more towards the younger crowd.
Right. So when his Batmobile took off out of the cave, he had a long blue streak of light that came out the back of it.
Okay.
I mean, let's be honest. Now, if you see that in real life, or in a movie, you'd be like, that's dumb as fuck.
Okay. I think it's more about execution more than anything else, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean that's just all it really is. That's when I watch Ninja Turtles, man, I just kind of take my fucking brain out
Well,
definitely.
that's Ninja Turtles. So
Right. But when I
I
see a
mean, the
lot of
very concept of it is kind of absurd. So
right,
yeah.
that's what yeah exactly. So that I mean I think when people start complaining about certain shit, I mean you talk about four turtles, there are ninjas with a fucking rat for a teacher fighting humans that are turned into other mutants and a giant brain inside the stomach of a robot. I mean all that shit is just like
When you
epitome of
explain it like
cartoon
that,
shit.
what else went on this week, Rick?
Well, yeah. Now on to the next one. Ninja Turtles. Yeah. Um, yeah. This was more something that we all just kind of realized on our own the other day. Somebody started asking, "Hey, man, where the fuck are those new DC Icons figures? We were supposed to get them like last week of March, early week of April. Like, what's the deal?" And we all just started kind of asking ourselves what was happening, and someone went to their comic book shop and confirmed that a lot of the release dates for icons were pushed back a month or two, or sometimes even three, um, to, according to retailers, what they were told was adjustments to their plastic and in some cases even articulation on the future releases. So my question to this panel is what we think about this move of taking that time and pushing back. Do we actually care that they're doing it? Do we just wish they would have just left it how it was and released it? What's the deal, Boog?
Oh, I think it's great if they're gonna update the articulation. Somebody's got their thing open. Who's got the YouTube open? But yeah, I think it's great if they're gonna update the articulation. Then I'm all for that because I've been saying from the beginning if they don't up the ante with the articulation and just the range of motion, then I'm not buying any. I haven't bought one of those figures yet. I fucked around with the Batman when it first came out. I was with my man Dave when he bought it. He opened it in the car and shit. I fucked around with it, and again, I think the figure looks nice. It's a great sculpt and a nice sleek design. It looks great, but if it's not gonna move the way I want it to move, to really get into some dynamic poses to take pics and stuff, then I don't care for it. So if
It
that
was
if in fact that's what they were doing, I'm all for it.
it was nice and at the same time worrying. When I don't know if anybody here, or anybody in the audience caught when Pixel Dan and I think even Shartimus did too. Or maybe it's Shartimus's interview I'm thinking of, and not Pixel Dan's. One of them, the point is, one of them interviewed the guys over at DC Collectibles, and when they came to the articulated icons, they just looked like they knew they dropped the ball. And they told whoever it was either Pixel Dan or it was Startimus Prime. They were kind of a little duo going back and forth with the companies interviewing. Told them that they're going to change the articulation to what we want because it's what we want. And he looked kind of like, damn, like I don't know how we like we're sorry we didn't do what you guys wanted to, but we'll do it. Kind of answer is what he gave him.
Uh,
Um, yeah, it was interesting to see. Like you could tell, like it was kind of one of those things where they were just like, oh well, we didn't even think about what you just said, kind of thing. And fuck, we'll do it. Um, it was cool to see that they're willing to revise their stuff, but it was also very troubling that they didn't think of that themselves. I guess it's just because they're always a
Are
scope.
you sure Are you sure they said that they're going to change the articulation though? I mean
That
that's like,
that no, that I am not sure of. What I am sure is just of what they said in the interview.
because that would be like a huge process. I mean
Yeah,
that would
that's a huge
we
tooling.
already know how long it takes for DC Collectibles to release anything to begin with. I mean,
Yeah,
their solicitations are literally like
that's a huge tooling process. What I'm speaking of for sure of is just what they said in the interview that the future releases
going
are going to have the art going forward are going to have the articulation for sure. What I'm saying is what people claim their comic book shops are telling them from what their distributors have told them. I'm not sure about that. I could imagine the plastic being fixed like they did with the animated. I don't know about the articulation. But for sure, going forward from what that interview said, they're gonna definitely do what we want them to do because, well, we're the consumers and what we want should be what matters the most, and it definitely seems like to them it's what matters, that we want what they're doing.
I mean, I could see them changing the articulation going forward, but I don't see them doing it with stuff that they've already shown.
Yeah, it was
especially anything that's been solicited already, because I mean you have to put these orders in way in advance, for to factories and stuff like that. So
I'm assuming the biggest reason people believed it to be true was that their April orders were moved all the way to June.
like, are they removed? Like they canceled the store's orders, or
No, they were moved to June.
oh, they were moved to June? I don't think that's enough time. But I mean,
Yeah, no,
adjustments in
I
plastic.
could imagine the plastic. Yeah, I could
Yeah,
imagine.
the plastic I could see, but as far as changing the articulation scheme for the figure, I think that you'd have, more or less just have to basically cancel the release and then re-solicit it again. That's what you would
Yeah.
have to do.
I don't see where the figure. Okay, it lacked the thigh swivel, which definitely can hinder some of the shit you could do with the figure. But for the most part, I don't see where it was like that bad of articulation.
Well, no,
It's
well,
the head and neck, man. It's the head and neck.
I'll link you to the video. They acknowledge that the thigh, the waist, and the neck was a big mistake.
Now the neck definitely, like the
Yeah.
thigh, not having a thigh swivel, and those figures not being able to look up and down. Yeah, okay.
I think the
I
I won't argue with anybody about that. But the waist.
besides the neck and the yeah, and basically the thigh swivel is the only thing I could really say that you legit have a reason to change. I think the waist is actually fine.
Right. I mean, it's a top
Yeah.
turn. They have plenty of figures that
It,
turns
it'll
at the top.
it'll be interesting to see what changes they make going forward in their new pieces. It was cool to see and strange to see them say that they didn't think that anything like that was a big deal. But again, sculpt first brand,
Right.
venturing into articulation, it makes sense that they wouldn't see things that way, and it's good that they're fixing it definitely in the future. Whether they fix it in these up and coming releases is a mystery, but probably not likely.
You said it right, because it's all about the scope with them first in most cases. I just think that they're struggling to like accept what the new age collector wants. I mean you know what that's crazy? It's the same thing with the movies. Like, you know what I mean? I know that it's all coming from DC, and it's like, dude, just stop trying to work around what we're asking for. Just do it. You know what I mean? Just fuck it. Just throw the fucking articulation in. Stop worrying about the sculpt, because I mean, most people who really care about sculpts buy statues. Well, at least I would think that's what the fuck they would buy. But you know.
Yeah, if you're mostly about the artistic fact, like as far as like a sculpture, like the sculpting and stuff, then yeah, I mean mostly you'd want a statue.
Yeah, and it's just like with the McFarlane thing. It's one thing that McFarlane should understand is that it's okay to have both. Should do a figure line with great articulation that risks the sculpt not being that great, and you should also just have statues that make it so there's absolutely no articulation, and you just have it be as perfect as possible. It's okay to have them both be separate things.
You're right. It is okay to have two separate. Yeah, most definitely, man. I mean, like I said, me liking DC, I like the icons.
Oh yeah,
I think
man,
a lot of people.
they're awesome.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were having problems about the scale or whatever. I didn't mind the scale. I didn't mind any of that shit. I really like the icons line.
Oh yeah.
And going back to what Boog said about the moving the way you want it to move. I mean, most definitely, man. Like I said, the thigh swivel, yep, you need it. But and you definitely need your Superman to be able to look up while he's flying or whatever. So, I mean, most definitely. But I have faith in the line or whatever. I can't wait till that fucking what is it, a 7-pack or whatever comes out.
Oh my God, that's an instant pop right there. That new 52 look pack is
Right.
awesome. These figures, man, they're those figures that like you don't know just how good they are until you have them in your hand. And even with the problems, it feels like such a refreshing change of pace from what we've gotten for the past forever with Mattel.
Don't even start with Mattel. Mattel just stays on bullshit. I don't think I can even really support Mattel in pretty much anything that they do now. It's just got to that point with me. I'm tired. I mean, you gotta realize I collected the DC line all the way from the DC superheroes. So I went through not being able to find that shit to having it pay expensive prices for it, only for it to show up at places like Ross and shit like that. Then I went ahead to the DC Universe Classics line, and we know all of the, oh my god, the quality control issues with those figures, the same feet, right or left, whatever. You had, remember the whole thing with Martian Manhunter? They molded the arms in the smaller biceps, and then so some of them had the small biceps, some of them had the big biceps, or the Series 3 Robin. Some of them had like a really big ass hand that went to Black Manta, and some of them had the actual child size hand. Oh my god, that was just crazy.
Just a terrible pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Well, I don't give a shit about these icons, so moot point for me.
Yeah, you don't give a shit till you have one. You was talking that import shit a couple months back. Now what?
No, I'm just not. I'm not into it.
No,
DC
stop
line.
backtracking. Just go on and say you were wrong. Fuck that explanation.
I mean, I see them at the shop. They look nice and all, but I'm really not that into them. Not for like issues like scale or anything like that. I think I've just decided I'm gonna make Mezco my DC line.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, because you know what? Mezco has been doing their thing, man. It's going to be a harder line to complete at $75 a figure.
Right, and then the releases are definitely a lot more varied and spread out apart. So it's not like you're going to get 3 figures at once and be like, oh yeah, here, full wave.
But you know what? Even Mezco dropped the ball, because I was looking at the Flash promo pictures the other day, and for the life of me, I don't know why the fucking suit isn't like Judge Dredd's suit, like more a leather look or even metallic or something. I don't know why they put him in that fucking wool-looking suit.
I think that's pretty much the problem with Mezco stuff so far. I just don't think they have the fabric down. The material they use is just not fine enough, especially at that scale. I think if they were bigger figures, I think the fabric they're using would be okay. And even then, a company like Hot Toys uses much finer fabric than even what Mezco uses, and their figures are larger. I'm just not a big fan of seeing like how the stitch lines and everything are just too prevalent in photos and stuff like that. I think it's something that they're gonna fix down the line, hopefully. I think the figures they've done, the fit and everything so far looks pretty decent. I think some of them are a little bit too baggy. Things are not scaled 100%. So like some of the collars and stuff look a little bit oversized and things like that. But I think right now the thing they really need to fix is mostly just the fabric. I think the way these characters, they should be wearing something that looks, more in line, that it looks good in the real world sense. Since anytime you do a figure that has like a cloth clothing, it definitely is about basically transitioning it from a artwork into the real world sense where it looks really good and natural, and it doesn't look like the guy is wearing like a spandex or something like that. It looks like he's wearing something more.
It looks like clothes. It doesn't.
Yeah, it looks like clothes. It looks more natural. I think like Daredevil, they did a really good job. I think Daredevil is because they're using the more pleather material, so it's a little. And Punisher obviously looks great, but then when you look at like some of the other characters which are wearing the more spandexy, especially particularly Flash is that one in particular. Superman, the one that they showed, I just wish that they used the material. I wish they could use that type of material, have that same kind of bright color that they have right now, but I wish it was finer, like the stitching was finer than it is now.
Well, they dropped the ball in general with Flash. The point that I was making was not even so much the size of the clothing, it's just the material they actually use.
Yeah, they should use something like Daredevil, right?
Right, yeah, it should have been something more like that.
It would have eliminated that entire problem when I'm talking about the stitch lines and everything.
Okay.
So
yeah, I agree with that.
Actually, it would have made a lot of sense, because that Flash is Wally West, and him having that bright color makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Well, not even the color, just like we were saying, the material. I mean, why the hell?
Right, it's got the same material as the Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah,
Daredevil. I agree. It should probably have the Daredevil fabric on it.
Yeah, the Daredevil fabric I think would have been a better choice. Definitely for sure, and would have made him look sleeker and everything. And yeah, like I said, that was always. I think the figure of the Dark Knight Returns Batman is a nice figure. Mm-hmm. My gripe was mostly just the fabric that was used for the outfit.
Yeah, if you don't like that fabric, right, it ends up looking like you're taking a picture of a television screen and there's lines going across the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you go close up, you could really see it. I think it's
Right.
better. They definitely wish. I mean, I spoke with them a bit about it at Toy Fair, and they said that they seem to be aware of the problem and they are working on it. Again, it's the beginning of a line; it's still young, so I think as time goes on, they'll get better and better. It's a process of elimination. So.
Well,
What else we got?
that's articulated. That's DC icons. There we go. Sentinel finally released what I guess you would call like production shots of these figures.
4-inch Sentinel.
Yeah, 4-inch Sentinel. Well, that's hard to pronounce. They're 4-inch Sentinel line.
4-inch Sentinel.
I'm not going to take my time to answer that, damn it. All right, they showed a classic Rockman, which we previously I didn't know that we've seen it in a show other than in gray, and the Mega Man EXE version, and they look really great. They look like they have great articulation. We kind of saw insight into some other things they have teased. Some other colors, some other characters of what we may be getting. What are our thoughts on this line and it basically taking the place of what we were getting with D-Arts? Boog?
Yeah, I think the Rockman looks great. I started looking at the D-Arts one the other day and was like, do I still want this? The other one's articulation is so much more better. You can get him into some much more dynamic poses, and it looks very anime-ish, but it looks good. I like it a lot.
Well, I personally, I'm definitely gonna go. What was the other one called? I never knew what that fucking Mega Man was called, Rick. The
EXE.
The what?
The EXE Mega Man.
No, the classic Mega Man I definitely wanted. The other one, the one with the blade.
EXE.
Yeah,
okay.
EXE.
I'm not completely sold on it, but then again, I like Mega Man. That wasn't my favorite costume.
In America, it's called Mega Man NT Warrior.
NT Warrior. That's what. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll probably buy it, man. I usually get stuck buying all that shit, but it just wasn't, like I said, my favorite suit. But I will say that having some Sentinel products, the Iron Man in particular, I like what Sentinel does. So I have complete faith in their articulation process. I really don't know. This 4-inch thing, is that something new for Sentinel to do? I don't really know.
The first figures in the line are the Getter pilots. Shin Getter Robo. They released like the main character Ryoma. They did the first figure in the 4-inch to no line is him, and then it looks like the second figure is going to be the classic Rockman, and the third figure is going to be the Rockman EXE.
Okay, definitely. I definitely will be going to. I'm going to get that fucking Rockman or Mega Man or however it goes.
Oh, Ryoma, are you going to get him too?
You say what?
Ryoma, are you going to buy Ryoma as well?
I don't know.
You don't like Shin Getter Robo?
Not really.
Why? Have you ever watched it? You ever watched Shin Getter Robo?
I don't like the way he looks. Listen, if I won't watch shit if I don't like the way if I don't like.
You don't like the way it looks? I think it looks awesome. Looks like right up your alley.
Yeah, I don't know.
No?
I'll tell you what, I will make a personal promise to you to at least watch 7 episodes of the Shin Getter whatever shit.
Well, it's only 7 episodes long.
Okay. 2 episodes then.
Actually, it might be 12 episodes long. I think it might be 12 episodes long.
When you get a chance, send me a link and I'll check them out.
All right.
And if I like that shit, I'll buy it.
You heard it here, folks. Shin Getter, all up in Pharaoh's house. Moving right along, unless Fabio, do you have anything to say about this interesting development, Fabio?
I've got jack shit to say about it.
Boom. There we go.
Mega Man?
I didn't grow up a Mega Man fan, no. I didn't really play any of those games. I was more of a Metroid fan.
So after
not that you have to like be forced to choose one
game?
side scroll. I'm sorry, what?
I said after you beat Metroid, you couldn't play any other game?
I beat Metroid a lot. Like I wouldn't stop beating Metroid. Metroid Fusion, Metroid Zero Mission, Metroid 2 Return of Samus, and Super Metroid. That's what I grew up with. That one and Contra. Those are my go-to side scroller games. Yeah, I never really played Mega Man. I wasn't much of a Sega kid, honestly.
Mega Man was Nintendo.
Was it? I thought there was a Sega version.
Probably so, but it
No,
was
I'm sorry.
majority
I'm thinking of
Nintendo.
Sonic.
Mega Man is Capcom.
Capcom.
I'm thinking of Sonic.
But I mean, it was on a Nintendo platform. I mean, all the ones I played
Right.
was on a Nintendo platform.
Right, but I'm not saying you have to be, constrained to choose just one side scroller run and gun game. But if I did, I would have chosen Metroid anyway.
If NECA made Mega Man figures, would you buy them?
Probably not. I don't buy everything, Nick. I don't buy that
NECA
little Big
whore.
Planet shit.
Stop it.
Not
you know
everything.
damn well you'd have bought it.
I'm not getting those Cine machines. I am getting that Kenner Ripley though. It's gonna be so cool, guys.
He's definitely still getting the Kenner Ripley for everyone.
My opinion of that has not changed in the last hour. Just to let everyone know.
On to the next topic. SH Figure Arts Black Panther has been going up in a couple different images, like a more higher quality images. Not full gallery or anything like that, but we've seen some fairly nice shots of it. What are our thoughts on it? We buying it? Boog?
Yeah, definitely. No question. I'm getting the. You said Black Panther, right?
Yeah.
He said, "Hey, this motherfucker told you, I'm gonna buy it." Wait, yeah, you talking?
No, we were talking about the double long dildos.
No,
right.
I've been on that one.
No, Boog's gonna buy Kenner Ripley.
I was I'm down here setting up trying to finish up my fucking tournament entry too.
Is there anything in particular with the Black Panther that you want to see it come with?
I definitely want to see an unmasked head. I'd like to see them take a shot at it. I mean, they haven't been really doing the best that they can possibly do with these. Well, actually, they've been getting better, especially with the Star Wars stuff. So hopefully,
the Star Wars has been great. Yeah.
So hopefully they'll be utilizing the same technique, that face scanning process or whatever they're doing there. So, right. So hopefully, if they're gonna do that, then I'm all for that. But I'm expecting it to be everything that we want it to be. It should have. I want to see them actually try some different things with articulation and maybe give it just a little bit more than they would the average figure arts figure. But then again, I don't want to see them fuck it up either. So. But I think the figure's going to be dope. There's no question I'm going to get at least two.
Yeah. Pharaoh, what do you think?
Okay, one, I honestly think they're gonna fuck this figure up.
What?
I hope not. Don't get because you know what? This is what I found out. I don't know, that Thor. Okay, the Hulk. I like the general way the Hulk moves and everything, but they kind of fucked that figure up. And I didn't. I remember telling Boog at first, like, "Nah, it ain't that bad." But nah, fucking with. I'm like, this damn thing does not look like the Hulk whatsoever. And they kind of dropped the ball for that. Thor.
Thank you.
I had high hopes with Thor, to be honest with you. It was some shit I wanted to pull off with Thor, and that's the most awkward figure I've ever gotten from Figure Arts.
Definitely.
I cannot go. So. And I want the Black Panther figure so much, I just cannot help but think like they're gonna do something to it that's gonna maybe be like it's just fucked up. And like what Boog said about the added articulation, I really think I want to put him in a crouching position, or at least like a Panther running position, or something like where he's you know how Black Panther moves. I really wanted to get him like that or whatever, and I'm hoping that they at least utilize the articulation to the point to where he can actually do some like really hyper poses or whatever.
Well, to be fair, when they did those figures, they didn't really have the method that they have now with the Star Wars figures.
Right.
And at the time, they did a more like anime-looking versions of them. But that Captain America that we've seen so far, that looks much more realistic than what they did with the Captain America before. It doesn't even look like it's from the same way at all.
Well, I mean, I agree, and like I said, these are just things. Basically, I'm hoping that don't happen.
Yeah,
I'm really just hoping that this stuff.
Some concerns you have.
Well, I mean, one other thing before we move on to the next person, I just wanted to say that I really want, besides the mask head, I really want them to maybe add in something that they wouldn't have normally added in to another figure, whether it be a head. Like, I'm not really concerned with T'Challa's head. If they don't give me an unmasked kid for him, I don't really care. What I really want them to do though is, seeing that I haven't seen it with Iron Man or anything, I really want them to include some other parts that, like, maybe make other people buy other figures. You know what I'm saying? Like they did with Luke, how they gave you the unmasked head for Darth Vader. Like something like that. I really want them to actually like include some type of piece.
Like for him to come, like me and Emiya were just talking about this the other night on our podcast. Like if the Captain America came with if the Black Panther came with like a clawed up version of the Shield.
Right. See, like exactly shit like that, and it makes you go and buy other figures. Like, okay, yeah, because I haven't seen the movie. You know, I don't think any of us have, so we don't really know what the hell is going to happen in that movie that you could include like accessories with other figures. Like, okay, yeah, that's like you said, a clawed up shield or whatever. So I really want that to happen as well. So we just we can get the most out of the figures that we have or that they are releasing or whatever. That's pretty much it.
No, yeah, I completely agree. The inclusion of an accessory like that would be meaningful to another figure in the line would be great.
Yeah, I'm down with that. That makes perfect sense. But who else you think we might see actually from Civil War? You think we're gonna get a Vision at some point? I think they'll do that.
Man, I would love it.
That would be sick.
Somebody has to tackle Vision. Nobody's done a movie Vision yet.
Hands down. No offense to the Vision, they can fucking keep a Vision as long as they give me a Spider-Man. That's what I want.
Well, you know that's gonna happen. We don't got to worry about that.
Yeah.
I don't see why they just wouldn't make all of them.
Yeah, but how long is that going to take? Look, we just now about to get fucking Black Widow.
Well, what's the crazy thing about it is that, and at the risk of sounding like Emiya, like all racist and shit from the last podcast, you would think that a Japanese company, the female figure would be one of the first figures they tackle.
Right.
I mean, I've seen so many female figures coming from this company.
Yeah, those damn perverts should tackle the females first.
Avengers is not a license, which is popular with Bishoujo characters. So most people would probably the big sellers in the Marvel stuff are the costume characters.
Particularly Iron Man.
Iron Man, Spider-Man, and that seems like they're obviously pushing Captain America. Certain licenses, I can tell you some right now. Saint Seiya, for example. Saint Seiya is not about the girls either. Saint Seiya, they do pretty much none of the girls. They do, but it's all about the guys. Same thing with JoJo. It's all about the guys. The girls don't sell, actually, except for, like, Jolene. It depends. Everything is depending on the license. Certain licenses have very popular female characters where you have a stronger otaku audience, and those usually it's about the Bishoujo characters. Bishoujo means beautiful girl. All the Bishoujo characters are the ones that are the primary, merchandising is focused on. While, like I said, stuff like Saint Seiya, JoJo, Hajime no Ippo, stuff like the American stuff like Batman, Superman, Avengers, Iron Man, that stuff is actually more focused on the act. Perfect example, Black Widow, she's an exclusive because obviously Bandai doesn't think she will sell. At least not on the level of like Iron Man. Iron Man always sells. Iron Man is number one. In Asia, Iron Man is number one.
He looks like a goddamn robot. Ain't no surprise there.
Exactly. Masked character. Like I said, like maybe Black Panther might be popular because again he's a masked character. You can't see his face. In Japan, all the popular characters, popular hero look is masked. Like they're wearing complete masks. Like they're not showing any mouth. No showing mouth, no showing a face. Not like Superman or even Batman. That's why for the Injustice Batman, they actually did a they actually designed a full mask for him. Because that's what Japanese people like. Japanese people like the whole masked hero thing, which is,
Is that like a self-loathing thing that they don't like seeing their own face?
No.
What's the cultural relevance of that?
Of course not. It's not about self-loathing. It's about basically because when you have that mask on, you can imagine yourself as that character.
Oh God.
Okay.
No, that's the reason why Spider-Man is so popular, just all over the world, because anyone can be Spider-Man.
To give perspective as well, people in Japan, over here they get made fun of because there's those dating simulation games. there is no usually there is no real picture of the person that you play in that dating simulation game. So you can imagine that you're the person that's there. If the simulation main character looks nothing like you, then it doesn't sell the illusion.
As much.
Okay, I think I get it. So is that why they blur out genitals in Japanese porn?
No.
So that you can imagine your own?
Well, don't try to don't make yourself don't say this stuff because obviously you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, obviously. That's why I'm asking.
The genitals thing is it's actually a European law which they adopted long time ago. That's the whole genital thing. That has nothing to do with it. But basically, I work in the video game industry, and I can tell you right now that the whole self-placement, the whole self-immersion, that's a big part of the market, even in the U.S. People like to imagine themselves. They can be that character.
Right.
Escapism. Just like it is...
Self-aggrandizement, all that, yeah.
That's basically the same idea as the mask character thing. When the character has a mask, that's the reason... If you ever even listen, for example, if you actually ever go and read, testimonies of G.I. Joe fans, the reason they like Snake Eyes so much is because when they were a kid, when they used to watch it, they would imagine themselves as Snake Eyes because he didn't talk, he was mysterious, so basically they imagined that they could be Snake Eyes, that could be them. That's the whole idea. The self-immersion thing is a really big part of the market. That's a whole video game. That's why sandbox games are so popular, because people want to live out these adventures in some way. That's why, in that sense, that type of market's even bigger in the U.S. than it is in Japan. The whole sandbox game is actually really big in America. It's biggest in America.
Yeah, all the FPS.
Well, all the FPS, your stuff like Grand Theft Auto, your stuff like Skyrim, like Fallout, those are all, sandbox games where you basically make yourself and you're walking around this world and, there's no real story. The story is decided by what your character does. So there's no set story. But in Japan, the thing is, these type of games are not popular because people are very, while they like the self-immersion thing, they're also very fixated on liking particular characters. They like characters, like stories and these characters. So the games come off more linear because of that reason. Because no matter what, if you're telling a story in a game, it has to become linear because there is a point A to point B. There's a beginning and an end. While for a sandbox game, you could do whatever you want. Of course there's endings in Skyrim and Fallout. You can end the game, but of course the main thing is that's not really the focus. The more focus is just your own personal self-immersion. You could do whatever you want. You can go and do these things, and it's like in many ways escapism for a lot of people. They can go and imagine that they're in this world, that they're fighting these guys, or you're playing with other people online, whatever, they're fighting together. It's a big part of the market. And like I said, the whole mass character thing is the reason in Japan the mass character thing's popular is because, and also traditionally, Kamen Rider, Sentai, they're all mass characters as well. That's always been that way. In the early days, they did a Kamen Rider that was called Rider Man, who he had a mouth part exposed, kind of like Batman, and he's the least popular Kamen Rider of the Showa era. So, obviously
not a coincidence.
That having the complete mask covering the face definitely makes it so that you could imagine yourself that you're that character. So that's the reason why, Black Widow, again, going back, why Iron Man's so popular. Why Captain America's not really that popular in Japan, but obviously he's pushed. Thor is also not popular either. But again, your Spider-Man, your Iron Man are very popular. All the characters with the mask are generally pretty popular. So that's just the style, the aesthetic that they like, and again, the self-immersion thing. But going back to topic is basically Avengers. The line in general, the whole female thing, that's not really relevant in that issue just because the top-selling things are generally those characters. I just said, like Iron Man and stuff like that. And generally the licenses which have predominantly the Bishoujo characters, the girl characters, those are the ones that the companies prioritize the girls, and the girls are the ones that sell and everything like that. So Yeah.
Well,
Damn perverts.
I think we all learned something today.
Well,
So
the Q&A is open if people want to start tossing some questions and
Q&A
we'll
is
finish up
open.
the show.
You know, if anybody was wondering, throughout the past 30 minutes, Fabio still wants to buy that random Ripley. Pharaoh is still black, and Boog is doing something.
Boog's working on his tournament entry right now. That's due today, right?
Yeah.
Are you still in the tournament, Fabio?
No, I got eliminated a couple weeks ago. I didn't even do the resurrection round.
Oh, damn.
But
Nice job.
honestly, I'm having a hard time juggling all this free time I've got now. I was so ready for the next couple months to just be completely busy, and now I've got all this free time. And I bought a new game called Bro Force. Speaking of side-scrolling video games, it's pretty amazing. It's like a throwback to like Contra, Metal Slug kind of games. Those like side-scrolling platformer bullet hell games.
Mhm.
But you play as the Bro Force, who are basically like pastiches of hyper-masculine action heroes from the 80s and 90s. And they all have bro in their name, like Ram Bro, Bromando, B.A. Brorakis, the Brominator, Brobocop, Indiana Brones. Like, there's a whole team of these. There's like 30 guys. And it's like a one life kind of game, and when you die, you randomly select a second or another bro, and everyone has like vastly different powers. And it's pretty damn cool. You can destroy like everything. Like, every environment is totally destructible. So it's like Contra on crack.
Back to the bros at hand. Somebody was asking, where can I find the podcast with you and El Sinestro, Fabio?
Oh, well, that is the direct iTunes link to that is at rawlivepod.com, and then the Podbean website is rawliveunedited.podbean.com.
All right. Now, the panel's thoughts on Ben Affleck having full control of the next Batman movie. Boog, go.
Yell it from wherever you're at.
What did Ben Affleck direct? Did he direct The Town?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I thought that was pretty cool. It was kind of like, I don't know. I thought that was okay. I don't know.
And Argo, too.
Argo?
Yeah.
Oh, that was fucking horrible. That shit was boring as fuck. I was that shit.
That's the sound of a figure falling off my desk.
Like he really loves it, if anybody didn't.
I don't know.
Yeah, The Town is definitely his strongest movie, but so he knows how to do grit. So I think Batman.
I'm not really sold on Ben Affleck as a director yet, but I don't know. I don't know that I want to see him direct a Batman movie to kind of try to break out either. But
he was the bomb in Phantoms.
Say it again.
He was the bomb in Phantoms.
Phantoms? What's that?
That's this Jay and Silent Bob thing. Yeah, I mean, I think he's a pretty. I don't think all of his movies have been terrible. We're not talking about like early 2000s Ben Affleck. We're talking about like current serious actor, serious director, filmmaker Ben Affleck. So I think he's gonna take it seriously.
Wait, is this for sure? Is this confirmed that he's supposed to be doing this?
Yes, 100%. Writing and directing, 100%. Obviously, there's a whole team of writers for film, so it's obviously not just him, but contributing the writing and he's directing.
Well, they basically realized, well, shit, Batman was the best part of the Batman v Superman. Let's just go ahead and go on with that. Fuck a Man of Steel, too.
Well, I don't want to see him fuck it up, though, man. I don't want to see him, like, water it down, because for some reason I'm thinking that he's probably against the amount of violence Batman or the way the violence was portrayed with Batman. I mean, I like the more brutal Batman. I really think it fits his character. I don't want him to get in there and say, hey, man, instead of Batman throwing that guy through a wall, can't he just kind of like, kick him and knock him down? I don't want that happen.
I think the way they ended Batman v Superman with Batman, at the funeral, and he's all like, we got to be better. We gotta get your homies and do a thing. But I think the events of that movie have made him realize that he can't really be as brutal and cruel as he is to criminals, and so I think in the next movie we're going to see him kind of be more traditional Batman.
If Batman's not breaking a fucking arm or throwing some guy to a wall to smash his head into it, he ain't Batman.
I agree with that. I agree. I want to see some Arkham Knight style finishers where you break the dude's arm and then twist him around and punch him in the face while he's already on the floor.
Right. That was the big draw to the thing. Was like a lot of that shit you seen, especially when he picked the guy up with one arm and slammed him down. That's all Arkham Knight shit. And I think everybody who ever played that game loves the fucking combat in that game. Any of them, actually.
Well, yeah, that was when the first game came out, Arkham Asylum. That was like the big revolutionary thing was the combat system.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm just not really excited for DC shit right now. They definitely turn me off with the BVS. But I will say that Suicide Squad looks like it'll be fun. It looks like it could be fun. I'm not gonna be rushing out to see it, but
yes, you are. Because you got to talk about it on the podcast, so you take your ass to the movie.
That's true. That's true. I'm gonna see it, but I'm not gonna be there on Thursday night at 12 o'clock and shit. Now, it's not, but I'll see it for sure.
They showed a lot more Batman in this trailer for Suicide Squad.
I saw that.
There was like 3 scenes.
Also, I wanted to say that at first I was on the fence about Leto as the Joker. I don't know, but the more I see him, the more I like him.
I would agree with that too.
I like,
This last trailer that they showed, it kind of made me I didn't feel so against it when I saw him and heard him speaking shit.
Well, he portrays the Joker more like a gangster than anything, man. I mean, he just really looks like a gangster. Like, I'm like, especially the scene when he walks out the door and he has a trench coat on or whatever. It's like,
I like that.
Yeah, I can see where they're going with that. So hopefully, can't wait to get action figures.
Yeah, apparently Jared Leto's actually taking that role like way too fucking seriously. Like he's sending people like used condoms in the mail, like cast members.
He did that.
I do not believe he did that shit.
He's like fucking with people.
He did that when the
movie. I'm on a movie with you and you send me a used condom in the mail. I'm fucking you up.
We'll tackle his ass as soon as we get on set.
He put dead fish and dead rats in Will Smith's trailer. But this all happened a long time ago. It's just getting steam again for some reason right now. Maybe Warner Brothers is pushing media outlets to hype it up because that was all reported like almost a year ago.
I don't know about that shit. I would have to pull him aside and be like, listen, motherfucker, come back to reality.
Will Smith
walking around the set like Wesley Snipes is Blade, telling everybody to call him Blade.
that was the big thing of what happened, that Will Smith was not too excited with it. He didn't find it as funny to find like a dead cat in his room.
Well, you know how that be. Black actors, they'll go back to their roots real quick when some shit.
Yeah, he sent Margot Robbie a nice love letter with a black box with a rat inside of it, or a living rat. He's just he's fucking with all his coworkers basically. He's that guy at the water cooler you don't want to.
And she just looks at him like, dude, I'm not Harley, right? This isn't fucking real. And he's
That's the thing that Terrence Howard was doing. That method acting is just retarded, man.
Terrence Howard always has problems on his set because that dude is not all there. But you can see performances out of him. On Power, my God, such a great performance.
Terrence Howard ain't on Power.
Why can't
Power? Sorry, Empire.
Empire.
There's the beef with Empire and Power. They go back and forth. Great performance, You always get great performance out of him, but I know that backstage he's a real pain in the ass.
But I mean,
why does everybody have to try so hard to become the Joker? Why can't everyone just fucking separate the actor from the character? Why does everyone have to recluse themselves and become a fucking mental wreck to actually play the Joker?
Because they want to do it right. And the last guy who played the Joker, no matter what anybody has to say, he was great at it.
He was, yeah. But what I'm saying is we don't want another Joker to die of a drug overdose. Let's chill out just a little bit, Jared Leto. Just a little, reel it back a minute.
Jared Leto is very familiar with drug overdosings, In his line of work, it's something he's already very used to. He's always wanted the part. For many years he's been campaigning to be the Joker, and we'll see how he does. I definitely don't like the look, but Joker himself seems pretty cool.
The laugh that we hear in the trailer is pretty disturbing.
Benjamin Ableton, this is a question specifically for Pharaoh Black. Nobody else can answer this.
No, I'm not your father.
Oh, damn it, Benjamin! You hear that?
Aw.
No, he says, "Who's your favorite Batman from a live-action/animated movie or TV show of all time?"
Well, Kevin
Only one
Conroy
right answer.
is animated. It's got to be Kevin Conroy. I don't think anybody is Batman outside of Kevin Conroy or the guy that they got to sound like Kevin Conroy. I'd take him as a close second. But as far as actual live action Batman, it's got to be Affleck. I love what Ben Affleck did for Batman.
Yep, I completely agree with his statement, whether it was directed at me or not. I completely agree. Now to the next question. Zirak Emran asks, is it possible for someone like me, who isn't able to stay up late at night, to be able to order Black Panther or Nick Fury from Hasbro Toy Shop, and will they ever be available in large quantities? My opinion, is it possible? Absolutely, because these times aren't always up late at night. They're random. Will they ever be available in large quantities? That's yet to be seen, unless the stores get flooded like they did with the AIM Soldier and Hydra Soldier. It's a possibility, but obviously, there's no way to tell. What does everybody else think?
He would be able to get those figures. This is going to be a major problem. It's not going to be the fact that the stores aren't going to be carrying these things consistently. Your problem is going to be the people who are constantly just stuck in this mind frame that because this character is popular and it's one per case, it's going to always be rare. So they're going to always run and try to grab one whenever they see it. You're going to have employees opening cases, taking them out. I mean, that's going to be your difficult part. But as far as them actually shipping these figures or whatever, man, no threat. Because this movie is one of the biggest movies of the summer. A lot of things are banking on this movie. They got to sell a lot of product, period.
Yeah, that's one of the things that people don't understand about the first go-around with figures with Winter Soldier, is that the reason you were able to get these AIM Soldiers and Hydra Soldiers so easily was because the film is so fucking big that these stores just flood their shelves. And hopefully this movie's no different. They flood their shelves because this movie is such a important part of culture and Hollywood in general.
But the biggest thing that people have to realize, if you think that getting a certain figure is a problem, man, you're just gonna have to bite that bullet and you're gonna have to buy that case. If you want to get those figures in and sell those figures, all those extra figures at cost, or whatever else to get your money back or whatever, I mean, you might have to do so. But I mean, it's really your mental, man. If you're really thinking that, like, man,
you guaranteed, no question. That's how you guarantee to get what you want.
All right, so I mean, definitely. And I mean, now the Nick Fury, that's a whole different animal, man. Like, seriously, because you're talking about an army builder. Nobody's looking at that figure and seeing Nick Fury. They just see Shield Agent. So, I mean, you got to realize, like, people like myself, I'm not going to lie to you. Every single time I see one, I'm going to buy it. Until I just feel that I just don't need any more of these damn figures. So, I mean, really, I don't know how you really want to take that, as far as availability goes. But if you go ahead and order your case, like I said, man, you wouldn't even have to worry about this.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll do revision cases of this Cap Wave too. There's no question about it, because the movie ain't even dropped yet, and people are already going nuts snatching up extra Nick Furies and stuff. So they're going to do a revision case that'll have 2 Nick Furies or full cases of Nick Furies. I'm sure we'll see that.
Yeah, definitely a possibility.
Or hopefully, not to even dwell on it, hopefully, because we don't know who's all included in the third wave. So they might not even have slots available, or they might not even have figures to fill a lot of slots. So like he said, you might end up with Nick Fury again in another case.
Yeah, they might do it how they was doing the Black Series, putting out.
That's how they did. That's how they did the Hydra and the AIM as well. At one point, they were 2 per case. So it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible. Whether it's going to happen or not, obviously, we're not fortune tellers. But
I'm thinking they totally hip to what's happening now. The fact that they even put out the Nick Furies on Hasbro Toy Shop early like that, they know what it is. They were pretty much checking the demand right then and there, and they're like, all right, these sold out in 5 minutes. We know we can make money off of these moving forward. So they know what they're doing.
And moving on, Animated Lifestyle says, what do you guys think of the theory of Ezra from Rebels being Rey's father, and the probability of him being the founder of the Knights of Ren? Well, Animated Lifestyle, those are all definite possibilities. It's why I tell people that it's very important for you to watch Star Wars Rebels. not only to get up the numbers and get us more from this series, but because it could possibly have huge answers to a lot of questions everybody has, and a lot of implications on this show. Highly recommend everybody watch. It's definitely a possibility. I don't know if he's Rey's father, but the probability of him starting the Knights of Ren is a very great possibility.
And why is that? Is his character sort of leaning towards the dark side?
I cannot answer those kind of questions. They're just going to really spoil if you've not watched it. If you ask me through a message, I can answer it.
Yeah, I'm not up on any of those shows, so I don't really care. But I haven't watched. I've heard everybody rave and rant about how great they are, but I haven't watched any of them, so I don't know.
What do you think, Mr. Pharaoh?
I don't think anything because I don't care.
Dang. There you have it, folks. Emiya, what do you...
seriously, quickly before you go on, I'm not being an ass. I'm so detached from Star Wars. It's not. I mean, I like the new movie or whatever, but I'm not one of those guys who read the universe. I'm not one of those guys who I don't even know. I might know maybe 15 Star Wars characters, and most of those are going to go back to when Lando was around or whatever his name was. So I mean, I don't really know.
Mr. 45 himself. Emiya, what do you think of these developments?
I think by doing it would be a nice thing to do for the fans. Just always the thing with these kind of things is a lot of companies generally, and you know, it's the same thing we talked about many times before when it comes to TV series stuff and movie stuff. While you can have a line drop here or there, like, oh yeah, you know, because of this, that thing happened or that thing happened, and they have some connecting threads, they usually don't. I just don't see them doing something so major like that, and tying it with the TV show that possibly a bunch of people never even watched. So I mean, maybe. I mean, it's not to say they won't do it. Star Wars is definitely one of those things where I think you can do it. But I don't know if I see Disney being that brave and taking that kind of risk and basically saying, yeah, you know, this is this backstory is connected to this, you know, CG anime TV series that we have on TV, and now you need to go and watch, you know, to really truly understand everything on the full level. You have to go back and watch the entire 3 seasons, you know.
I think the only thing that makes people lean towards that way is how much they do that in the Marvel universe.
I think in the Marvel stuff, I don't think it's that much either. I mean,
but you know, unless you watch it, you don't know how much it is, you know, because we see exactly what leads up to event.
But the point is,
Right.
the example, like me, I don't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right?
Mhm.
But I have no problem understanding what's going on in the movies. Now, if you were to say that Ezra is the father of this, you know, of Rey, that's more than the stuff that they do in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I have an idea what happened because, you know, I know tons of people who watch what you tell me and stuff like that. So I have somewhat, and I don't think anything that you've ever mentioned it would be as major as something like that.
Well, you know, something that is just, well, I don't know, because it's not really character specific.
No,
But,
like you said,
hold on. There is no way unless they work it in that you will know exactly why and how Inhumans exists. You have to watch the show to know it. It's a really long and complicated explanation as to who the Inhumans
I still don't think that is as big as.
No, yeah. It's not character specific, but it is something to note.
Yeah.
Like, it just gets as big as that level on Agents.
Yeah, I think that just speaking as far as when it comes to the whole Rey thing, I think you could do it. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying that that's kind of, like I said, working in industry, going back, and I hate to bring it up, but this is just basically the reason I just say, because even video games like this too, you always want your video game, you want it so that anyone can jump on with the third game, the second game, the fourth game. You generally don't want it, even at sometimes at some sacrifice to, you know, even kind of messing with the story or whatever. And even to the point where people may not understand everything, so you put something in the game where summarizes everything that happened in the previous games. You always want everything to be self-contained. It's an unfortunate thing. I mean, being more core fan myself, I don't particularly agree with it because I always think that everyone should watch everything from the beginning, not miss anything. That's just the type of person I am. When people make threads on Facebook or forums saying, "Oh, what episode should I watch such and such series from?" I always say, watch from the beginning. There's no shortcuts. That's what I believe in, and I do think it is sad that people. And I understand from the marketing aspect, it's the right thing to do. You want to make it so that anyone can just feel that any casual person can just jump in and watch it and have an idea what's going on and not necessarily feel the need to go back and watch everything that came before. But like I said, I just don't see them being that brave. I don't see them basically doing the thing where they'll do it so that all this stuff with this character's backstory is all in this TV series.
Yeah,
I just don't see them doing that. I mean,
in my opinion, I don't believe Ray's father is Ezra for a second.
Yeah.
But him starting the Knights of Ren, I could believe. I have my own theories, just like everybody else does, about who Ray's father is. I don't think it's Ezra, even a slightest bit. The Knights of Ren.
Starting the Knights of Ren, that is a more different kind of thing. I mean, the Knights of Ren, the starting of the Knights of Ren doesn't necessarily make it so that, you have to know how the Knights of Ren started in order to enjoy the numbered movies, 7, 8, and 9. You get what I'm saying? It's not as relevant. Just like the forming of the Empire or the forming of the Rebel Alliance is not that important to the Skywalker story. It's cool to know it. It's cool backstory. Them doing something like Rogue One, where you're explaining how they got the Death Star plans. That's not that important to episodes, 4, 5, and 6. You get what I'm saying? It's not that big of a deal. While it's cool that there's obviously a big story going on, and that's great. But it's not something where the viewer would, say, "Oh, some guys tried to get the plans, they died. Okay, end of story." I mean, obviously, they wanted to look into it. Oh, wow, there's actually a big story here. There's a big conspiracy happening in some other part of the rebel ship or whatever, or the Death Star, wherever part of the galaxy that this drama happened at. They can look into that, and it exists. But if they don't want to, it's okay too. That's basically where I'm getting at. That they don't. The viewer doesn't necessarily have to watch this stuff to understand what's going on. Yeah. Just like with the whole Inhumans thing. Yes, we know there's Inhumans. We know that they're these kind of, they give us the impression in the movies, if you only watch the movies, that they're kind of all those pseudo-engineered, right? And technically speaking, the audience just needs to know that these people have powers, that they're pseudo-engineered, Hydra's involved in some way, and that's it. And obviously it's using the power of, some infinity gem, whatever, to unlock it or, whatever. But if I want to, I can go watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and then see more detail. But it's not important for the adventures of the Avengers, where, they're fighting and their story and so it's not really that necessary for me to go and for me to understand it. I can still understand everything that's happening in Age of Ultron, Winter Soldier, stuff like that, basically. So.
Yeah. Definitely, it is used to enhance your experience.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, moving on. Next question. Do we have any thoughts on the Dragon Ball Z SDCC exclusive this year?
I know what it is.
But you're not allowed to tell us.
I cannot say what it is.
Oh, man. Audience, you hear that? He's holding out on you.
What it is. I do actually know what it is now. I didn't know a couple of days ago, but I do know now. But I cannot say what it is.
On everybody.
Yeah. I'll be honest, it's really not a big deal. Although people will make it a big deal, it's really not a big deal. That's all I'll say.
Another question, I think he accidentally skipped these. Some guy, I guess he asked but answered himself, asked, do we think that the Suicide Squad trailer is similar to the Guardians of the Galaxy?
Well, it's a similar concept, certainly. I mean, they're trying to...
It's an ensemble cast,
Right.
it has similar tones.
misfits, who have to band together to fight X,
Okay.
whatever.
What do
I think I don't know if it's going to be as big as Guardians of the Galaxy. Like Guardians of the Galaxy was a pretty surprise hit.
Yeah, that was pretty huge. I don't know. That's hard. Yeah.
I know that. Someone else also asked, what do we hope for Phase 4 of the MCU? And I think today, in fact, Kevin Feige announced that Guardians 3 was going to be the first film of Phase 4, which is interesting because that's after Infinity Wars and after Inhumans. Inhuman is the last film for Phase 3. So shit, I don't know. What does that even mean? Are we going straight cosmic after all of our Earth affairs are done?
I guess it'll all come down to whatever happens at the end of Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
That'll probably be the big thing. Phase 4 is still a ways off. I mean, if anything, a lot of things can change. We don't even know certain actors are coming back after Infinity War. So that's going to be a big thing, too. I'm assuming the status quo will be different after. I mean, status quo looks like it's going to be different after Civil War. But it looks like it's probably going to be different after Infinity War as well. So.
Having this Infinity War and like the Infinity Gauntlet and the possibility of like multiverses really does make it a little bit easier to swallow getting new actors. Because let's say we pick up and now it's a different universe, but they've had the same adventures in a parallel Earth as our heroes that we have been watching, but it's a different Iron Man, it's a different Cap, it's different actors because they're a different universe, but they're still the same characters. I don't know if that makes sense, but it sounded pretty good in my head before I vocalized it.
We'll see what happens. I mean, we already know they have no problem just straight up recasting characters either. Like as if you're just supposed to assume it was that guy the whole time. Right. They obviously have no issue doing that. We've seen it happen. So,
James Bond it.
Yeah, James Bond it. They're totally willing to do that. They're totally willing to do a James Bond. But like you said, the whole multiple different universes is also a very valid thing as well. That could work also. So.
Yeah. What I personally hope for, I don't know, because what only things that I really hope for, it's like it can happen in the future in a different film already. Like I really want to see Planet Hulk, but if they do like touch on it a little bit in Thor Ragnarok, well then there would be no point in making a whole film.
Right.
I want to see Nova. I want to see Richard Rider. I don't know if they're going to make him an older Richard Rider anymore, being that he's such a prominent young character now in comics and in show. So if it's that Richard Rider, I'm not that excited to see it. I love Annihilation, Richard. The things that I want to see, it's all stuff that they could do. Like if they really wanted to, and it was just an older Rider, they could put him in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Everything that I want could be done within a film and not have its own film if they wanted to. Although I would want an entire Planet Hulk film, they could just touch on it in Ragnarok and there would be, nothing I could do. What about Pharaoh, huh?
What up?
Is there anything in particular you want to see happen in the Marvel Universe?
Cinematic.
Cinematic.
I want them to start using more of these low-level D-list characters. I think that
heroes or villains or both.
Both. I think a lot of characters have the potential to be really cool characters. They just don't use them correctly. Now I don't mean someone that's like really stupid, like Stilt Man or something, but. It's a lot of I'm sitting here. I'm fucking with this Nuke figure, and I don't even know what the fuck Nuke is doing in the comics right now. So I could be wrong, but he seems like he's pretty he's a character that doesn't get a lot of play.
Mm-hmm.
And just looking at the type of character he is, I just think that he might be really awesome to put into a movie.
You weren't a fan of him? You weren't a fan of him in Jessica Jones?
I didn't agree with. I don't. To me, it's like they. With those shows, they force characters into being something that I don't recognize the character as. Like for instance, with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., how they made Deathlock. That seemed really forced to me. You didn't have anything else to do. He's a character that you don't we're not gonna put him in a movie ever. So hey, fuck it, use him. So and fans will recognize who he is, and you can use. But I didn't like it. I didn't like the way they did it. I didn't like the way they did him in Jessica Jones, to be honest with you. It was more of a reference than actually the character. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you didn't see him with the character.
I think the way that they did him in Jessica Jones kind of it leaves room for them to build it up to what we want it to be, though. I mean, I didn't particularly like it either, but it leaves room for him to get more battle damaged and get more.
We didn't see. Thankfully, we did not see the final product. You know, he is not Nuke yet.
Right. So you know, I think that aspect of it was cool.
Yeah. We've seen a villain like Absorbing Man. He's on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Well, even like him, I don't like the way they did him.
Yeah. A lot of
I
people
mean, it seems like it's like a waste almost. I understand you gotta have some shit for these shows to do. I mean, you made this show, so now it's a Marvel product. You gotta have these guys, you know, doing some shit. But what Marvel seems to be doing that DC isn't doing is that like DC is pretty much like, okay, these are the shows and these are the movies. We're not even going to cross them. Marvel has been crossing their shows with their movies for the most part. Well, at least Shield. We know that the Shield was the ones that found the scepter, right?
Right. That's what led them to Baron Strucker's castle.
Right, and you know, Coulson, even though they're saying he'd never show back up in another movie, but you know, Coulson obviously exists in the Marvel universe at the same timeline as everyone else. So, you know, they're crossing the streams with that shit, and I just think that they're just, you know, the characters they're not really putting stock into, they're just fucking them up there. That's just my opinion.
I mean, I think that the villains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe are kind of the weakest part of it. Aside from Loki and pretty much just Loki, really. We don't have any, like, villains with a lot of longevity. Everyone's pretty much one and done. Like, you know, Baron Strucker was hyped up, and then, you know, he pretty much dispatched in the first 20 minutes of the movie. And according to rumors, it's basically going to be the same thing with Baron Zemo. Is it Baron Zemo that's in Civil War?
Yeah, it's Baron Zemo.
Yeah, they're saying he's not getting too much screen time, and he kind of feels like he doesn't really need to be there. I wish the villains were a lot stronger.
I don't know. I think like with Ultron, you can always bring Ultron back. You can also switch his personality. You can switch his voice. I mean, he's digital pretty much, so you can do anything you fucking want to do with Ultron. So that door is always open. But
right, because he's living in like Vision's mind gem now or something, right?
As far as with Strucker, I agree. I think they really wasted the slot on Strucker. They definitely could have did a lot more with him. He was pretty much a parody of the actual character, in my opinion.
I think the biggest thing with these villains is they don't want people to start asking, well, if they didn't defeat him last movie, where is he now?
Like what happened with the leader in The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah,
and then we didn't really see what happened with him aside from the time.
And what happened with the Joker in The Dark Knight, you know, people kind of ask, well, where's the Joker now? Which, you know, it seems for the most part like Joker was supposed to have a huge part in the movie following, but obviously didn't due to the death of Heath Ledger. I mean, right. I'm just assuming they don't want people to ask those questions like, man, well, where the fuck is Ronan the Accuser? Like, no, well, Thanos just murked him for fucking up, so...
Yeah, he bathed the Starways with his blood.
But you can answer that the same way you answered in a fucking comic book. It's a comic... Listen, this is the thing about it. I understand that certain things have to fit into the realm of reality. So for your mind to actually process it and say, okay, that's feasible, whatever, but... It's a comic. It's fantasy. You can make him drop off into the dimension of wherever. You can take this character and you can resurrect this character from ash if you want to. There's no limits to what you actually can do when you're dealing with some shit based on a comic book. So I mean, I don't understand why they actually really have to get rid of any of the characters. They don't really have to get rid of any of them.
Then Pharaoh, you basically just answered your own question. Because if that's the case, then they can bring them back whenever they want to. They don't have to kill them. They can kill them all and bring them back as they please.
Well, we're definitely going to see Red Skull again. There's no question.
Yeah, Red Skull didn't die. Red Skull didn't die, though. I mean, his fate is currently unknown, so obviously he'll pop up again. But you can always bring back their instructor. You can always bring back, any of these guys that died. Purple Man. If they wanted to bring him back, they could bring him back. It's just literally just writing a story where you can bring the character back.
Well, I'm upset that the guy who played Red Skull doesn't want to be Red Skull
Yeah, me
anymore.
too.
Well, once you have the makeup on him, it doesn't matter anyway, right?
That's
Right.
true. That's true. But he's a good ass actor, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hugo Weaving is
He did a great job
He's
playing Red Skull, man.
unfortunately he was coming off the high of Cloud Atlas, and he was challenged as an actor on that movie, and he wasn't challenged on Captain America, so he doesn't want
We talked about this before. He was just on his real thespian shit. He like, I'm not fucking with this bottom of the barrel.
You think I could play some fucking villain? Wear a mask?
Fuck that, he played Smith for all them years.
That's true.
Anderson.
Yeah, he's
Just
on-
get the guy who played the Nazi in Inglourious Bastards, whatever his name is.
Oh yeah, that's a good actor. Yeah, that guy that plays the Nazi.
Right, I forget his name.
The character
I
hand.
remember the character's name. I don't remember the actor's name. Christoph Waltz.
Christoph Waltz.
I remember the actor's name. Yeah, he'd be really good Red Skull. But yeah, again, once the makeup is on, who gives a shit? If he sounds German, he sounds like Red Skull.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. And now another question from Zirak Imran. He asks, "What's the best / most articulated figure that any of us have ever messed with?" Boog?
That's a good question. Essentially, you asking what's one of our favorite
What
figures.
size? What size?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter? Okay.
Keep it
I
simple.
don't think so.
That is a very good question.
I'm gonna go with my favorite at the moment right now, which is Bruce Lee. Fucking SHF Bruce Lee is so posable.
Yeah, that is a contender. He could probably definitely be in my top 10 of all time. Definitely, I'm with you there.
What impresses me is they don't include a stand with him, so they're confident enough in saying that, yeah, we know this thing's gonna stand without a stand no matter what.
Very fun figure. That's how I kind of gauge it too, though. Like, if you can't put the shit down and you're genuinely having fun with the figure, then in my book, it's a great figure. So definitely Bruce Lee. I think the Revoltech Ultron was really cool as far as the articulation and everything. And kind of in that same vein, the Revoltech Ninja Turtles. You always see people post those figures and do. There's always still different poses. They've been out for what, 2 years now, almost 2 years now, and I always see somebody post them and pose them in a way that I haven't seen before. So when that can happen with a figure, then I put it up there as a great figure. So yeah, but yeah, I guess one of my favorite figures. I don't know. Come back to me. Let me look around the room.
I don't personally know what is the most or best, but I know what I enjoy the most. And most people don't like the series, the line itself. It's dealt with a lot of backlash at times. But my favorite figures to pose, and I'm sure Emiya knows this well, is Revoltech figures. I think that whether the joints are ugly or not, I don't personally give a damn. It doesn't affect me, but their figures, they are the most posable figures for me that I've ever played with. Like, I can do so much with those figures. There's nothing I can never not do with them. I love the joints. I love that revolver joint. Although those are definitely my favorite. Whether they're the best or the most, I don't know, but they're definitely the ones that I feel are the best.
I will say that Revoltech figures in general can help you be a better poser. They definitely it's almost like a Rubik's cube or something like that. Like there's
that's what I was saying.
There's always something that you have. Like I was just saying that. It's always something that you haven't done yet or figured out yet, and always some other way to do the same pose. And so I'm with you. They can look a little awkward, just in a vanilla pose, but they're definitely some of the best for dynamic.
A little update. Dave Bronx says that the most posable figure is Billy Harrington, and I think he's right.
Yeah, the thing about Revoltech figures, the way they're designed, the designer Yamaguchi is very big. If you guys don't know this, Revoltech was essentially conceptualized by Yasuhiro Naito, who's the creator of Trigun. and character designer and figure sculptor and designer Yamaguchi. And the thing about them, when they first started experimenting and designing figures, they basically designed figures that looked good. They didn't have the symmetrical articulation in the beginning. They weren't Revoltex, but when they first started, they had that thing called monoshaft drive, and basically the joints were done at an angle so that the figures, like if you ever played with the Fist of the North Star 2000X,
yes.
or
God, those were horrible.
well, they were great for the time. But the way that they were designed is they were not particularly like really posable per se, but they were designed in a way that they can do like 7 or 8 really great poses that looked exactly like how they would posture-wise and how the body would be angled. They had more or less statue-like posing. They were done in a way where, you know, it wasn't neutral. You know, when the thing about a sculpture like a statue versus an action figure, you can almost never, by extension of how it's, because there's joints and because the body has to be in a certain, the parts themselves that are assembled to make the figure have to be in a neutral position, the posing of an action figure can never be as good as a statue, as far as it goes to the folds in the clothing and
the perfection of what a statue,
how the contortion of the body is. There's just no way. It's just impossible. Because
what he's trying to tell you guys is
I understand what you're saying, but I don't know if I would agree with that 100%.
No, listen.
No,
the figures that he's talking about have joints. What's crazy about them is this: the right leg will have a straight cut joint and an angular cut joint.
Yeah,
at
they
the
were designed
and
so
then
that
the left one will actually have a hinge, so that like the body was just totally all over the place.
Yeah, they were designed in a way that they were able to do 7 or 8 soul poses. Okay, well, aside from the modern, this is how the Revoltech was conceptualized. They basically decided, okay, you know, we need a figure that has more, you know, symmetrical articulation. So they designed a system where, you know, they would place joints in certain ways where you could still get those very dynamic poses, but at the same time, the figure was in some way more symmetrical, that you're able to kind of do more conventional poses with the figure. And that's basically how it was designed. But because of that, the way the figures are designed, the way the joint placement is done, you really have, unlike SH Figure Arts, particularly SH Figure Arts, or even Figma, or any other like action figures are kind of on the market, the way the joining is done is very unconventional. They're all designed to do certain types of poses, but be symmetrical at the same time. So you would basically have to really understand the placement of the joints in order to get the most out of your figure. You're even at times have to remove the part, adjust the joint yourself, and then put the figure back together to get the certain type of range that you normally wouldn't get if you tried to move the joint yourself. So that's why Revoltex are very, you know, they were the first ones. Bear in mind, there would be no Figma and no SH Figure Arts, and there was no Revoltech. Revoltech was the first of this current era of the 1/12 scale figure, you know, out of Japan action figure. They are all trying to be Revoltech. Revoltech, Keiyo was the pioneer.
I hear you, but they're not trying to be Revoltech, because at the same time, they're doing their own thing. If that was the case,
they were. Back in the day, if you went to have this was like 10 years ago, when, you know, SH Figure Arts was first coming out, they would constantly say, oh yes, we're taking space from the Revoltech shelf. They were direct competitors, so that's exactly what they wanted. Now it's completely different because the landscape's completely different now. It's completely changed. SH Figure Arts is, you know, a big brand. The Revoltech brand in general has pretty much become almost a designer brand.
Yeah.
They don't really try to compete with on the larger scale market as, you know, Bandai and, you know, Good Smile / Max Factor are fighting for now. But back in the day when Figma, I don't know if you were, I'm guessing you weren't collecting these figures back then, but I was around for all of it. Back in the day when the Figma line first started, when SH Figure Arts first started, these lines were not necessarily even meant to be big lines. They just wanted to test the action figure art market out themselves. Yeah, Revoltech was the king.
I was definitely collecting when before I even understood the concept of an import. When I just saw some shit in the comic shop that looked cool, and I couldn't even really understand why I was paying $60 or $65 for it. So
well,
You know, Boog,
they
you
were
got the motivated Gale, right?
they were $20.
You
Oh,
had the
yeah.
motivated Gale.
yeah, I had that.
Boog.
Yeah, I
Okay.
tore that figure up. I
Hey,
broke
but you know
that
what's
shit in so
crazy?
many places.
Remember how the motivated Gale, like that left leg swung outward and inward, and the other leg went forward and backwards? That shit right there. That's what he's talking about as far as how the Fist of North Star. You know, that shit was just crazy.
Yeah,
I mean,
it wasn't symmetrical.
Even that figure though, I was posing the shit out of that. I was always
You could.
that figure. I broke that shit in so many places, man.
Yeah, but back in the day, that's Revoltech was at one time. Like for a lot of guys on here may not know, they were the premier action figure line, you know, in that period, like the early 2000s. They even had a huge distribution thing in the U.S. Revoltechs they really used to. This is why I say they pretty much kind of consider themselves a designer brand now, because they don't actually even try to have U.S. distribution here.
We're totally off his question though. What's your favorite? Take three of your favorite figures to pose, and you should definitely be able to pick a few because you got a lot of shit. You got access to a lot of shit just around.
Holy shit! We're still on that question, Emiya. You still haven't answered.
Articulated.
That's some shit that you enjoy. That's fun. That's super. That's hyper articulated.
I'm a big fan of the Ryobot Gurren Lagann. It's a really great, really lots of moving parts, lots of clever engineering. I'm a big fan of the Synthetic Human, which is a 1/6 scale. Basically kind of like it's kind of in the designer figure kind of category, I guess. It's also extremely articulated. And can get a lot of lifelike posing, but the way the figure is designed kind of lends itself easy for it because it doesn't have any parts that are sticking out or anything. It's just basically almost like a mannequin body, but it's kind of android looking. Besides,
they're doing a 1/12 scale one now.
yes, they are doing the 1/12 scale Synthetic Human, which sad to say will probably be pretty difficult to army build, which is what a lot of people want to do with it. And besides that, I'm also a huge fan of the what else am I a huge fan of? As far as articulated figures, I'm a huge fan of the St. Cloth Myth line. It doesn't get a lot of mention because Saint Seiya is not that popular in the US, but the whole line I'm a huge fan of. Although those aren't necessarily super articulated once you put all the armor on, but I'm a huge fan of St. Cloth Myth line as well. So.
Well, there we go. Next
question. Someone brought up in the comments, and I totally forgot about this too. And
of course,
Spider-Man Homecoming.
Billy Harrington, of course.
Yeah, Billy Harrington, 100%.
Right, that's what I said.
A question that doesn't really need an answer. Any updates on the next wave of DC icons? We said this earlier. They were pushed back to June to better the plastic. Doubt it's going to be the articulation, but oh well. Mm-hmm. There you go. That's just a quick one to get out of the way to answer for him really quick that we already answered before.
And then, this other question is from Zirak Imran again. He wants to know what we think of Spider-Man Homecoming, which they just revealed the title card for, and what we think the plot will be. And I honestly wasn't digging it too much when I first saw the low-res picture of the title card. I was like, wow, it looks like the next Spider-Man cartoon on Disney XD. It doesn't look like a movie title card. But, just kind of reading around and seeing the direction that they want to go with this new Spider-Man, it seems like, not that it's going to be like a cartoon, but it's definitely going more for that market. And it's a younger Spider-Man. He's still in high school. So, if the plot is the play on words that I think it is, it both means that it's Spider-Man's homecoming to Marvel, and Spider-Man probably has homecoming dance in the movie at some point, and he has to face a villain whilst trying to juggle the responsibilities of where do I rent a suit, and where do I get a boutonniere, and what the hell is a corsage?
What you're describing is exactly what Spider-Man is, though.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's very Ultimate Spider-Man, which is that's my favorite iteration of Spider-Man. So. Mm-hmm. Very, very Ultimate Spider-Man comics style.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of it?
Yeah. Well, what does everybody think? Yeah.
What did you say, Pharaoh?
Oh, Spider-Man: Homecoming. Oh yeah, I'm cool with that. Didn't they announce that what's her name joined the cast too? Keaton.
Oh yeah, Michael Keaton joined.
He's in talks. Yeah, we just don't know who he is.
Yeah. Dude, can you imagine if he was J.J. Jonah?
Though, I mean, it's going to be very.
Honestly, I could see Keaton pull off just about any role right
Hell
now.
is J.J. Jonah?
It's really hard to imagine anybody but J.K. Simmons in the role of J. Jonah Jameson.
Right, but
you know, if there's anybody that's going to do it, it's probably going to be Michael Keaton.
I could see Keaton doing just about anything. I think he's a great actor, so I could see him. Some people said Vulture. Some people said.
Uncle Ben is another one I've heard.
Some people said Norman. You know, there's a lot of possibilities.
Watch him be the fucking janitor.
He's the wise janitor.
You know, I could see him being Norman Osborn too. I could definitely see that. They'll put a do-rag on his shit and
yeah, okay.
Getting up sporting waves.
Word up.
Phew. All right.
Anyway, yeah, that's about it.
What do you think, Emiya?
I think it's fine. Probably like Fabio said, it's probably going to be focused on like it's the dual meaning, you know, Homecoming Back Tomorrow and Homecoming Dance, and I think that's cool. You know, going to have some. I mean, always the things about having a younger Spider-Man. The big thing is definitely mostly about, you know, having that type of drama, having that kind of high school drama. You know, tackling the social life, tackling, you know, being a superhero, you know, finishing homework, you know, things like that. That's what you want to see. So, I mean, that's the whole reason you would want to have a Spider-Man, you know, that at a younger age. It would be for that reason. And the fact that they haven't done it yet. You know, all the Spider-Man that they've done so far are pretty much college students, you know, or...
We got Tobey Maguire in high school for 10 minutes.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. But he didn't really have as much of the high school drama, you know, they're probably trying to play that up a lot more, you know.
What are you talking about? He fought the guy from Magic Mike in the hallway.
So, well...
Frank Mangaleo.
Yeah, but they never really... You don't see all the aspects of it. So, right. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a movie, so it's a lot harder to do because a movie, you know, you got to keep things in focus. Something like a high school life, you want to show off the you know, good and bad times of high school. It's kind of better to do it in a TV series, but we'll see what they do.
Yeah.
Like Freaks and Geeks meet Spider-Man. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh, that would be incredible. Bruce James Parker asks, casting for Miss Marvel. I think he's trying to ask who we would want. I've said this many times, and everybody's going to hate it here, except for probably Emiya, is I want Ronda Rousey.
Here's one I thought of that was really weird.
She's not pretty enough to be Miss Marvel, man.
Oh, dude, I think
she's a little butch, but whatever.
She's got the physique, maybe, but you need somebody with a stunning face and a crazy body. Like it's gonna be difficult. You know what I'm saying?
Not somebody that looks like that dude from the Goonies.
I mean, the sideshow statue I think looks great, and that pretty much she looks like Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, the sideshow statue of Miss Marvel that is modeled after Ronda Rousey.
Show me the statue. Put it in our chat.
All right, how about this one? Jennifer Lawrence for Captain Marvel.
How? When she's just playing Mystique.
Well, I mean, they're not technically in the same universe, so she could get away with getting both of them.
Her voice, man, I can't see her being Miss Marvel. That doesn't to me, that's just not how Miss Marvel sounds. Her voice is kind of like nasally and shit. I don't.
Hey, man, she's gonna go over there and she's gonna take the games of hunger, and she's gonna beat them.
Miss Marvel with a bow and arrow and shit.
Castings though, right. They cast that girl Zendaya. She's the black girl. They cast her in that Spider-Man movie, and all of a sudden the internet's like, "Whoa, what the fuck? We don't want a black Mary Jane." Like, nobody fucking said she was gonna be Mary Jane. They just cast her.
Very pretty girl.
Yeah, I don't know her like at all. I just know her from like proactive commercials, but whatever.
I mean,
internet's all aflame towards
this point, anything is better than Kirsten Dunst. I don't know where the fuck they got off casting her as Mary Jane. But
yeah, I heard her tiny
Kirsten Dunst was hideous.
Fucking Dunst move is what it was.
It was the Dunst move.
Hey, it could be worse though, bro. They could have cast that Gyllenhaal chick, the one that played Rachel Dawes. Jesus Christ!
Oh my God, Jackie Gyllenhaal.
Maggie Gyllenhaal.
She is a pooch.
It's
Jesus
a
Christ.
The live model for the X-Men Legends Rogue from the box set from Toy Biz.
Actually, you know what? I think it would be interesting if the young Disney chick is Mary Jane. I think that would be really interesting.
people are saying she's Mary Jane, she's Gwen, and she's Felicia Hardy. I could see her as Felicia Hardy.
Ooh, a
I
black
would say-
cat would be interesting.
Some people are saying
being-
white tiger. Some people are saying white
Well,
tiger.
being black, whatever, ethnic, whatever you want to call it. I'm just saying, I think that Marvel, I like to see different, ethnic roles being exposed for, out in the open, whatever, just changing gender a little bit. But I think they're doing a little bit too much, in my opinion. I mean, I'm with changing some things, but I mean, you don't have to. Like, didn't they just change Thor's love interest to the one black chick?
Did they?
Valkyrie, yeah, they did actually. I forget who they cast though.
I mean, I'm not saying that I don't want that. I don't want nobody to be like, "Hey man, how you gonna say that, man? I'm black, you black." I mean, I'm just saying like certain things just don't need to be changed.
Right.
I like the
You don't have to just try to be so PC.
I'm very I don't know. Sometimes I don't like it. Sometimes I do. As everybody knows, I'm a huge Wally West stan. I'm a Wally West fanboy, and they changed Wally West black, and I'm perfectly fine with it. Only if only for the fact that you could get the possibility of someone with the chops of like Michael B. Jordan playing Wally West, which I would fucking.
When'd they do that?
Wally West
Have there
turned.
been any black flashes in the comic books?
Yeah, Wally West now.
Now,
Oh, that's in the comics. I'm thinking you're talking about on the TV show. Okay.
No, in the comics, he is black. He's been black since for a while now.
Okay.
Boog, I put the picture of the statue of Miss Marvel. And
He's been black since New 52. The New 52
since the beginning of New 52. So it's been a few years.
I mean, come on.
introduced as a black character in New 52.
They should have been done that. How they don't have a fast running black guy? Come on now.
Now you got the best one. The bat.
it's kind of racist to have a black dude running fast.
Hey man, now you have the best one. You have Wally West. So it's some
She does not look like Rhonda.
Look at that second picture right
She
there.
she has a very like
You're telling me that second picture.
hardened demeanor, man, but she does not look like Ronda
You're
Rousey.
telling me that second picture.
If a comic
see what you're
artist
saying.
was to draw Rhonda, that's what she would look like.
Yeah, that's because comics know how to fucking embellish and do all type of other good shit for people.
But I
think
never,
Ronda Rousey is
said
a
it was
fucking
photographic like. But it does look like Rhonda.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's not a photographic likeness, but it does. There's definitely some of Rhonda there.
Yeah,
Especially when you see Rhonda with makeup and everything, and in her commercials and stuff. Yeah, that's what she kind of looks like.
I'm gonna let. I guess I'm gonna just share the picture right here on my phone. I mean, you guys can be the judge of.
It's about to be his middle finger. Watch.
Nah, man. I'm just gonna show the picture, man. I mean, I can see what you're trying to say or whatever, man, but you gotta realize Ronda Rousey, in my opinion, is butt fucking ugly. So, I mean, I'm sorry. This statue isn't that ugly. So, I mean, it's just the way I feel.
It's the idealized Rhonda, I guess.
You say what?
It's the idealized Rhonda. Basically, being on the cover of Playboy, Photoshop, airbrushing, idealized. Makeup.
We got any more questions down there? We about to wrap it up.
Yeah, we have. Let's answer one. Let's answer some really quickly. There's a lot of really easily answered ones. Wasn't Netflix gonna be a show? Netflix gonna do a show about the Thunderbolts? I have no idea. I haven't heard that. That would be cool. Do we think we're gonna get a new Psylocke figure at some point? Hopefully. Boom. There you go.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely get a Psylocke soon.
Without a doubt,
That's happening. No question.
Yeah.
This is a good question for you, Boog, because it involves our product. Is there a preview out at all of what the next cutouts are going to be in the pack that we're going to be able to order?
No preview that I can show you. I mean, we've all seen some of the stuff that's coming out and kind of spoke about it, but the next issue that'll be out will be Series 4, and it'll be followed by, I think, 2 sort of like mini series that'll be sort of character specific, and it'll be less cutouts, obviously for less money too. That's pretty much all I could say right now. I wish I could say a specific date, but not sure. I've seen pretty much all of the designs though, and everything looks.
It's generally coming along pretty well.
And also around the same time, we should be dropping another couple of sets of tendrils as well too. I think the last tendrils that went out were probably our best set as far as the quality and how they came out, and so I just made sure that they would come out the same way this time too. So if you didn't get
So what if I bought the tendrils before the last time, before they were really good? Would I be disappointed? Was that how good the quality was?
I don't think you would be disappointed. No, I don't think you would be disappointed, but I think you would definitely see the difference. I still think you'd be okay with it, but I think that
it would move you to be willing to buy both.
Right. Yeah. No question.
So definitely good enough that you'd consider that if someone had the earlier first production or second production, they would still. Well, I wouldn't mind buying them again because the quality's gone up that much.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. I mean, I think that's pretty much been the deal with everything that we put out. I mean, you know, we pretty much in the infant stages of everything that we're doing as far as retail products. So I mean, it's going to be trial and error. It's going to be, you know, we're going to get better as we go along and as we get feedback, and you know, the feedback has been very positive even when it's negative. So it's all good. So.
Actually, I wanted to say that if any of you guys got any ideas of what you want the actual cover for the packaging to be, if you got any ideas what would be cool, man, you can send them to my Facebook account. You can PM me with them or whatever, because I'm trying to work on the cover for the next cutouts.
You heard it. So, Pharaoh wants dick pics.
I don't. You see, that shit right there. That's reserved for another podcast.
Well, Dave,
if you see promo pictures with Billy Harrington putting his finger in somebody's booty hole, that's the podcast to go see Rick and Emiya on.
Dave Bronx, Dave Bronx just gave us a great suggestion. He said he would love to see Billy Harrington as Captain Marvel. I completely agree.
Good idea.
Perfect.
Dave Bronx wanted to say that he wished we had a Latino main
Actually,
character.
he could be the Captain Marvel that that dies in the movie before.
Yeah, Janice Vell.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Perfect.
He said we needed a Latino.
Real quick, just to be clear, Pharaoh was talking about the actual folding cover. You know, we changed those.
Right, the actual cover.
So, but you also know that the envelope that the cutouts come in, we always feature 2 artists on the back and front side of the envelope too. So we'll definitely be having a new envelope for Series 4 and for the mini series and Series 5 and 6. So just obviously keep doing your thing on the page. Usually my girl picks them, or she'll pick like 10 of them and then pick like 10 pictures, and we'll go through them and see what 2 pictures complement each other on the back and front of the envelope. So we always feature someone, and then we actually send them a free pack and an envelope that they could keep for themselves too. So.
Oh, you keep that envelope.
Right.
Dave Bronx, Latino main character. I think we have it in Blue Beetle, but I would love to see more of it. Do we know when the X-Men wave is coming out? I don't think so. I think we have a general estimation of like July, August.
Yeah, it's. I'm sure it's gonna drop like right before Comic-Con or maybe right after.
Yeah, like that's usually the general time point. There's another question for the store, Boog. Do you think you're ever gonna make gun effects?
Who was that just put out those gun effects recently?
MSG.
Yeah, those looked okay. You know what I thought about them when I saw them? I'm sidestepping the question. I'm answering the question, but when I saw those, they looked like the little miniature effects that came with a lot of the MU figures to me. I'm like, that looks exactly like the effects that came with some of the MU figures. But yeah, definitely. We were hoping to actually put out some totally new product in March. Some like accessories and different things that we working on. I mean, we literally have like a list of over 100 different props and accessories that we want to do, and figuring out how to actually package them and how to pair up different things, and we got a couple of people working on that stuff and just trying to work out all of the details and specifics of that. So yeah, that's definitely a possibility, but also some of those gun effects and ricochets and all of that stuff like that will be part of some of these cutout packs that are coming out too. So.
Yeah. And a question directly, we'll probably have two more questions. That's it. Direct question for one person, so it's going to be quicker to do. For Emiya, is do you think Bandai or Max Factory or anyone, I think he's just wondering, an articulated figure of Yoko Littner will come out again?
Well, there's only 2 Yoko Littner figures. And they were done a while ago, actually. Would Bandai, or would there be a SH figure? Basically, you're asking if there's SH figure art or a Figma version. I think it will happen probably one day. Maybe it all will just depend on whenever there's an anniversary for Gurren Lagann, and there's like a resurgence of merchandise. Unfortunately, Gurren Lagann being around the time of 2007, I think, yeah, that's pretty much when Gurren Lagann came out. Being around 2007, the action figure market in Japan is not as developed as it is now. At that time was mostly Revoltech, and now that SH Figure Arts is doing very well, the Figma line is doing very well. We don't unfortunately Gurren Lagann didn't come out during the time now where a lot of things get action figures. If it was Gurren Lagann was a current series, we would definitely get action figures now. But I don't think that it's impossible, and I think it could definitely happen one day for sure.
Yeah, and then I think this could be the last question. Good way to go out with Boog. He's asking Boog, where are you gonna be bringing back appetizer and main course? What's the deal?
Yeah, definitely. I said this on Instagram recently. I have a camera that I've had for a long time that is technically a terrible camera, but I just love it for whatever reason. I like the way it shoots video, and I haven't had a charger for the camera for months, and I had to order the charger because the camera is is not in production anymore, so it's not like I could just go in a store and get parts for it. So I just kind of been bullshitting about ordering it. I finally ordered it. I'm actually shooting some stuff with the camera right now. I've been shooting footage for main course for the past couple weeks. I just been editing a little bit every day here and there. So I definitely got main course coming, and I'll definitely be doing appetizers and using my my original editing software. I can only do appetizers or do stuff with music if I use my original software and use this camera. So now that it's back and work in order, then I definitely will. I definitely want to just get back to that raw feel of making videos and putting music on and just having a good time and just having fun on my channel. It's a lot of people just taking the fun out of YouTube and not really understanding or respecting the essence of YouTube and just having fun and shit. And it's not, my channel has never been about me making money off of my channel. Sure, I've made money off of my channel these years. I've bought shit, but it ain't been millions of dollars, and I'm not worried about it. It is what it is. It's just a little perk. So it's really just about me just having a good time and just talking shit and just being me on my channel. So absolutely.
You're basically saying that even if you made no money, you'd be fine with that.
Oh yeah, absolutely, definitely. So if
it's not this is you trying to get people to pay you or anything like that. This is all for free.
On some totally honest shit, that's what the business side of A.C.B.A. That's what the cutouts are and the tendrils and the flight stands and all of that stuff. That's a way to kind of build a brand and make a little bit of money or whatever and still have fun. I'm still having a great time doing that stuff. But my channel is strictly about having a good time and just unwinding and you getting a kind of a good idea of who I am, and I just talk shit and just talk about figures, and it is what it is. So definitely, I'm very excited about getting back to putting out regular content on my channel, no question.
Nice.
With that said, I guess we're getting up out of here. Follow us on Instagram, follow the A.C.B.A. Instagram. It's the best fucking Instagram from any toy photography page anywhere. Period. I put my claim on that every single episode. That's what it is. At Articulated Comic Book Art, and then all of us have our own personal Instagrams. Everybody's gonna plug their Instagram, and you just anybody. I mean, just in general, what people in the toy community are putting out on their IGs and on their Tumblrs and stuff like that. I mean, like, again, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, it wasn't like this. It wasn't an abundance of people displaying and really showing off all of these products. And this is why companies are making so much product and putting out so much stuff, because of the displaying community. There's no doubt about it. So follow us on Instagram. That's all I want to say.
Shorty, follow us on Instagram. You know, there we go. And final plugs from everyone. Boog?
That's it. I ain't got shit else to say. You on my channel right now.
Pharaoh, final plugs.
Yep, Pharaoh_Black on Instagram. That's pretty much where, besides the A.C.B.A. page, that's the only other place I really, do any pictures or anything. So, follow me there if you want to. It's up to you.
Shorty, follow him on Instagram. Mr. Crackers?
Man, your guys' plug game is super weak. Check this out. They call me Colonel Crackers on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, and Steam. You can catch me on the Raw Live Unedited Podcasting Network at rawlivepod.com, iTunes, Stitcher, and Podbean. If you're down here in Southern California, check out the Comic Bug in Manhattan Beach and Culver City. Make sure you come check out the free Comic Book Day event May 7th. Alan Tudyk is going to be there, guys. Steve the Pirate. I'm getting a Funko figure signed. It's going to be sweet. We're going to have displays, a table. It's going to be cool. Come check it out.
All that shit ain't nobody come to fuck with you.
You'll see. We're going to get a squad pick. You're going to wish, oh, man, I should have talked so much shit. No, I'm not invited to the next picture.
All right. As far for me, on Instagram, I'm Cable2345. On YouTube, you could follow us with our live show. Me and Mr. Emiya Starlock have a live show every other Friday. I don't think we have a name really other than the JPIA live show.
It's JPIA TV, the live.
There we go.
What does that even mean?
The live. Boom.
The live.
We discuss anime, anything Japanese related figures, movies related to Japanese, basically anything from across the pond Japanese related. We will touch on most of the time. We just like here answer questions. So look out for us. Follow us on the channel's Import in Action. And we
episode 0 is up if you guys want.
Episode 0 is up. Check it out. Tell us what you think. You think we did something wrong? Boom. Let us know, and we'll fix it. And we'll be on not this week, but probably next week.
But if we are on this week, we will announce it in a few days.
Yeah, on the show.
It all depends on the how much stuff happens in that. Sometimes we'll do maybe 2 weeks in a row, but sometimes it'll generally be a bi-weekly show.
Yeah, we do channel trailers for if we plan on doing the show a few days early, to make sure to check us out with the times. Emiya, what do you have to plug?
I'm Starlock on Instagram. MFC myfigurecollection.net. And that's it. That's mostly it. I mean, you already said pretty much everything else for the show. Please come and listen to us. Check out the show. If you're into anything the Japanese toys, anything Japanese toys, whether it's statues, action figures, robots, anything, we cover it all. We're like
genitals. It's all covered there, guys.
Yeah, it's all there. Onahos, everything. We're gonna talk about that stuff too.
Yeah, Billy Harrington.
All that type of stuff. Billy Harrington. You want to talk about that? Who knows? Maybe Billy Harrington will be on the show sometime. You guys can ask him questions. Come on, and we can all have a big conversation with Billy Harrington. And but anything, we're pretty much like, we're of an MMA philosophy. We do it all. We do everything. It's not just action figures. It's not just statues. Everything.
It's not just about it's about the sculpt. Check out this articulation.
Yeah, and not just about articulation. Check out these sculpts.
Yeah, check out these sculpts. And that's it. Boog, sign us off.
Poogie's walked away.
He's gone. Let me just go ahead and thank everybody in the live chat for joining us. We had over 40 people come through, and do some really good conversation here in the live chat and give us some good questions. So thank you to everybody in the live chat, really.
That's Import in Action on YouTube.
Yeah.
All right, y'all, till next week.
Till next week.
Peace.
Bye.